Huh. All right, right. Welcome, Meme Knowledge, episode 1. It's my man Tyrone. Oh, fuck, my bad.
Way to kick it off.
This
Way to kick it off.
is my man Robert Kelly. I'm Prince Hayes. I'm so used to talking to Tyrone on this thing, man. It's shout out to Tyrone. Y'all know where we at. So yeah, man. What you want to say to the people?
Hey, man, we had a great show planned for you guys today. I thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you click the like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Make sure you always get updates whenever we post. So first of all, shout out, of course, to Tyrone, Soapbox Heroes. We're on the Soapbox Heroes Network right now, and just get used to us bringing some great content. And we just hope to be your home for political analysis and progressive ideas. So with that being said, we're going to kick it off right now.
So what is the agenda? People are gonna, people are wondering. Pretty much, what we're gonna discuss tonight is the upcoming debates next week. You guys get ready to tune in. Wednesday is the first night, right? And then the second night is Thursday. It's back-to-back nights because there is like 20 some odd candidates in the race right now, the Democratic race. We already know who's going to be in the Republican race. Nobody's going to challenge Trump for,
almost Freudian slip and say
Biden. Yeah, almost said
Biden.
I wish somebody would challenge Trump. That somebody on the Republican side should challenge Trump, but they're not. So we're going to be stuck with Trump running uncontested, and then we're going to have 20 candidates on the Democratic side. So we're going to kind of try to break them down and give you guys like a cheat sheet, right? Would be the best way to describe it. So you could kind of look, watch for certain things and listen for certain things, because I think most people don't really go into the debates with like an agenda, like what they want to hear, right? Like we just go into it just to watch it because it's entertaining for a lot of people, but we kind of want to give you guys some things to listen for and watch for.
Absolutely. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just basically break down by days. First of all, we're going to go back. First of all, day 1 of the debates, and secondly, we're going to go to day 2. Day 1, we're going to talk about some of the key candidates in there, and some of the matchups that we hope to see, some things that we're excited about, some things that just some reflections on that. Day 1 is the thing about the Democratic debates here is what they were trying to do, and what they said going up to the debates is that they were trying to avoid a kiddie table. But if you had to have one, it looks like the day 1 is the kiddie table day. Most of the people outside of Elizabeth Warren are polling 1% or less, and it's like really the lower half. And then out of the top 5 candidates, 4 of them are actually going to be on day 2, and only one of them, Elizabeth Warren, is going to be on day 1.
So, do you think that? I mean, I don't want to say I don't want to. I don't really care about sounding like a quote unquote conspiracy theorist, because I don't even believe in that term the way that people use it. But going into it, I actually thought that they weren't going to have Bernie and Biden on the same stage. That was a couple weeks ago, but now I'm starting to see that the establishment is pushing Elizabeth Warren. So that makes sense that they wouldn't have Bernie and Elizabeth Warren on the same stage.
Right. Or they would, or I think they're trying to bury Bernie from different sides.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think it's really, at this point, anybody with Bernie kind of thing from the
100%, which Bernie has called out several times.
Right. So what they're going to do, what they didn't want was Elizabeth Warren and Biden together, especially without Bernie, because they're going to eat each other. I think that
Biden and Warren.
But
Warren hates Biden.
Warren is definitely going to go directly at Joe Biden. She may do that even though he's not on.
I think she's going to do that even that he's not there. I'm pretty sure she's going to say something.
And I think that both of them wanted to avoid having to confront Bernie Sanders in the very first debate, because one thing that Bernie Sanders is going to do is he's going to be very clear. His message has been the same throughout his career, and he's going to force you into a message of whether you agree with him or not.
Yes.
That's basically going to come down to.
You're going to draw a hard line for sure.
Right.
You're going to have to be like, I'm either on this side or that side of the hard line. So If you want to start off, you can start off with Joe Biden talking about his platform. You kind of want to go through what not Joe Biden, what the candidates are going to be, what their platforms are. So we know it's crowded. We know it's 10 people on each day. So how much of these people, how much are you going to actually hear from the candidates? That's another thing that I think helps certain people too, is that they're not going to have to get so deep into their platform. They're not going to have to get so deep in a policy, right? It's going to be a lot of surface shit. It's going to be a lot of who do you like more as a person? You know what I mean? Right. It's going to be a lot of that identity politicking, I think, on that first debate. So
I think that and I think in the debates, just because of the format of the debates, they blocked out maybe 4 hours for each debate.
Yeah.
And because of the amount of candidates, and I think they're probably going to give you 2 or 3 minutes at the most to answer any questions. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to favor people like people like Beto O'Rourke. Yeah. People that are good with platitudes, and kind of just making people feel good immediately.
You're going to get snippets,
right,
as opposed to getting like full length.
Right, but it's also going to favor people who have a consistent message, like Tulsi Gabbard, like Bernie Sanders, where they're just punching.
This is what it is,
right?
This is what I am.
Because one thing that's great about Tulsi, to some degree, but definitely Bernie the most, is that even though they have a message that does have policy, they're not wonky. They're not like Elizabeth Warren, who's very wonky, and is going to probably her challenge in this debate is going to be to
tone it, to cut it down a little, like cut the fat, because she
be inspirational. Because
it's
more than just giving a policy, it's about inspiring people. And I'm wondering, is she going to be able to make people believe in her? Not just in what she's saying.
Yeah, in her, that's what I'm saying. I me personally, I think she's going to be able to do that. I think she's going to perform really well. Just but based on the people who are in her grouping, I don't know who's going to hold her feet to the fire, or freaking Bill de Blasio. So let's go day one. We got Bill de Blasio, Tim Ryan, Julio Castro, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, Amy Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, Jay Inslee, and John Delaney. This, to me, couldn't be any more corporatist. Like, it's just like full of corporatists. Like Elizabeth Warren is a corporatist. The only one that's not a corporatist is Tulsi Gabbard. Jay Inslee's message is decent. You know what I'm saying?
I actually like Inslee's message in the way that he's clear on what his agenda is. He wants to address Green New Deal, to address climate change from an economic standpoint, from a social justice standpoint. Everything comes back to adjust what he believes is the biggest threat, which is climate change. And I think climate change, even though it is a major issue in this campaign, may not even be as major as it should be if we're talking if it's as serious as the scientists are saying. Really, it should be who's going to do what on climate change and who's the best on that should be a front runner in this.
Well, that's a good question. So with that being said, what do you think, if you had to guess, not even to you personally, what do you think the number one issue is? Like if we took a straw poll, right? What is the number one issue for the majority of Americans? What do you think Americans want to hear the most?
No, I think healthcare.
Healthcare is number one?
I think
okay. So that's American as a whole. What do you think Black voters?
I think with Black voters, it's going to be, I think it's going to be the economy. I think healthcare, but
hold on. When you say the economy, what do you mean? Because there's 2 different ways to talk about the economy.
Specifically, how income inequality.
Okay.
I think it's income inequality.
How to address it.
And then like from a social justice standpoint.
Okay.
Also, reparations is on board, but I don't think it's as important to Black people as some of the
other policies.
As some of the other things. I think that reparations is something that is almost like if we get it right, it's a pipe dream type of thing. I couldn't imagine. I mean, could you imagine when I was a little kid and people first were ever talking about reparations? It was almost like some pie in the sky that you would never even dream of happening. It's sort of like a black president. You know,
sort of like a black president. Yeah, anything can happen,
but we ever thought about.
But let's be.
Got a question for you, gentlemen, that comes from the chat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Tyrone wants to know, does it seem that they're making or trying to make Joe Biden look like the best candidate?
Not right now. I would say no. I would have maybe thought that. I would say this. Okay, so I do think that the corporate media is trying to hide Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. I don't think that the corporate media is 100%, or the donor class, because the donor class controls the corporate media. So I don't think the donor class is 100% behind Joe Biden. I think the donor class, if they could have it their way, I don't even think it would be Elizabeth Warren. I think it would be a Kamala Harris, because she hits on a lot of the identity politics, like being a woman, being of color. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they want to kind of continue with the Obama thing, kind of, you know, the upward hope and, you know, that kind of stuff. I don't, to give a really concise answer, no, I don't think that they're trying to make him look like he's the best candidate, because in all honesty, I've seen CNN, MSNBC just shit on Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. I don't even really watch corporate media news like that, but I was watching clips of CNN, like it was just playing on my YouTube, so I was watching it, and they had whole panels, and they just went at Joe Biden for like 30 minutes straight, and I was like, okay, so they obviously don't like Joe. Like that's what I got from it.
I think he's too far right for Democratic establishment. That's weird, I know, but also they know Joe Biden. Joe Biden, to a lot of people that don't know Joe Biden, he was Obama's, you know, right-hand man, and yay, and they want to ride that. But the establishment knows Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a 3-time Democratic nominee loser. And
big time fucking loser.
And as much as Biden and his camp want to tout his electability and try to convince you, and how much the View might want to get on there, and Joy Behar and then might want to say how electable he is, in reality, he always fucked it up. So the establishment is touting him as the front runner because they don't want Bernie to run as the front runner right now.
Anybody but Bernie. They're squeezing them for both sides.
But they know, because Joe Biden's numbers have already started slipping, they know that Joe Biden is going to say something that fucks it up. And this is how Joe Biden himself knows he's going to say something that fucks it up. Because when the Democratic California Democrats convention, he didn't show up. The Iowa Hall of Fame that just happened, he didn't show up. When every other candidate shows up to speak,
Joe Biden ain't there.
He does not show up to speak with him.
He's pulling the Hillary. From out the Hillary playbook in 2016, Hillary did show up to stuff like that though, right? But she didn't campaign in the Midwest because she knew she couldn't win those voters.
All she could do was mess up.
All she could do was fuck it up.
And from a primary standpoint, she was going to win those states already.
So what she thought, from what she thought, she was like, yeah, I'm gonna get Michigan, I'm gonna get, you know what I mean? And then, but what did Trump do? Trump went and stomped and did his fucking job and whooped their ass, and he talked, and they liked him, and they were like, all right, cool, I'm going with that guy. So it worked against her in two ways. It worked against her, like, it made them think like she really doesn't give a fuck about us because she won't even come talk to us. Mm-hmm. But really, that wasn't what it was. Trump don't give a fuck about you either. But the reason why she didn't show up was because she knew that if she showed up, the only thing that was going to happen was her numbers were going to go down. So she was like, it ain't going to get any worse if I don't show up. Right. You know what I'm saying? So my best chance is just to keep my mouth closed, and Biden's doing that right now. But the scary thing about Biden is he has to do that pretty much for the whole fucking election.
Right. Because when he starts to open his mouth on some of the issues, and you're going to see this in debates, be careful and listen closely to what he's saying in the debates, because when it comes to issues of social justice issues or criminal justice reform issues, you're going to find out very quickly that Joe Biden is an authoritarian.
Oh, 100%.
And he's just like Hillary on that. Hillary was an authoritarian as well. And so when you get the authoritarian look, basically, that's not going to be popular in the Democratic Party.
No, not right now. Yes, sir.
So I'm bringing a question. I'm reading on the sidelines here. Do you find it interesting that Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are on the same panel on the same night?
Like I said,
I should say maybe even going a little depth in that question.
Yeah.
Do you think it could be damaging to either candidate?
To me, I'm gonna say this, and I'll let Robert like finish this up because I'm pretty sure he'll have a better answer. I think, but I think Bernie Sanders, as far as going like against the candidate, if that, you know what I'm saying, like if it's like him versus another candidate or the field or whatever, Bernie Sanders is fucking Teflon. Like he's the originator of any leftist policy in the party right now, right? Like everybody who claims to be left, like, okay, Tulsi Gabbard is inspired by Bernie Sanders. Andrew Yang is a disciple of Bernie Sanders to some degree. Like he said, he was like, Bernie Sanders inspired me to, you know what I mean? So you go and they're the only two people. Williamson also, we'll talk about her later, but Williamson has a whole different thing. She's on a moral. We talked about that earlier. She's on a moral thing, but just I'm talking about policy. You know, politically speaking, those two people are the most progressive people in the debates, not in the race per se, but in the debates, right? Next to Bernie Sanders. They're Bernie Sanders inspired people. He started that. Elizabeth
is even a disciple.
That's what I'm saying. She's literally a disciple of Bernie Sanders. Like so if you look at them, and then you look at like and then you even start to look at like Elizabeth Warren. Like the stuff Elizabeth Warren is pushing is the light version of the shit that Bernie has been saying for 40 years. To me, it's a diet version of that. Like it's not as deep, it's not as impactful, but she's taking some, she's taking here and there, she's grabbing, and then she also says some stuff that's like, I'm like, oh, that's cool too, like some stuff that Bernie didn't say, or he's not pushing as hard on that. But I get with everything, I want to touch on that real quick, right? Because you did a good job. I want to use this real quick. So Elizabeth Warren's platform, for an example, is a part of her platform is I'm sorry, not Elizabeth Warren, Biden, right? A part of Biden's platform is education, right? Biden will triple funding for Title I, the federal program funding schools with a high percentage of students for low-income families, and require districts to use these funds to offer educators competitive salaries and make other critical investments prior to directing the funds to other purposes. Okay. In a nutshell, how much do you think that's going to help the education system? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, did you read Bernie's proposal for the education? Like we didn't even talk about that, but he has a fucking great plan for the education system. This is just like the tip of the iceberg of what Bernie was saying we should do. You know what I mean? Like we talked about this before too. Bernie was talking about, I mean, we were saying that all schools should get the same amount of funding, right? Federally, like it should be mandated on a federal level that every single school in America gets the same amount of money. Bernie did everything but that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like he was so close to doing that, which I wish he did, right? But he did everything but that. Right. Biden took like a sliver of a sliver and was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing, because that's like really extreme for him because he's so fucking centrist, right, if you want to call him left center, but I think he's right center. He
said triple the funding to Title I. When you're talking about already massively underfunded schools, and then you're talking about trickling it into school systems that are fundamentally corrupt. Yeah. The funding, that funding
will not have the effect.
Right. Throwing money at the problem is not what's going to help, because it's shown money is not what the great dividing factor in the school system is. It's equity.
Yes, absolutely.
And so he's not focused on, but that's the thing too, and that's where you get the establishment. You see where the progressive difference is. Do you care about people?
Yep.
A government is not a business, people. The government is the people.
Yes.
The United States is the people in it. It's not the economics that surround it. The people, we have an economy as a people.
Yeah.
But if you don't care about the people, the economy is going to fail.
Yes.
And we're seeing that right now. And that's the main difference. If you're talking about what do you think is what's so great about Bernie and what do you guys don't like about Biden, how much do you care about people?
Does nobody care about people?
That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know the guy, so I don't know if he cares about people.
Well, I mean, politically speaking, have you seen politically? He definitely don't care about black people.
No.
right? Like we could say, we all think he doesn't care about black people.
I don't think he's a racist, but to the degree that, well, I don't know the guy to call him a racist. But I will say this, to the degree that you're supposed to care about people, he has not shown it he's wielded great power and has not shown it in that he cares in his power. You know what I mean? I mean, he was basically as vice president. That's what I don't understand about when people say, well, he was the vice president. First of all, people, what does a vice president do? What is the job of the vice president? Most of y'all don't even know. Okay, the vice president breaks ties in the Senate. I've never seen a tie in the Senate. Secondly, he doesn't have an official job except to take the place of the president if something should happen.
He's supposed to create jobs. Like he's supposed to find like something and like go active. Like I'm going to change. I'm going to be in charge of education. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like help education.
Dick Cheney was a terrible vice president as a person,
yeah.
But he was a great vice president in doing what vice presidents are supposed to do, which is he made himself a job.
Yeah.
He's like the first lady. The first lady, you have to make yourself a job.
Like what's her name? Skinny ass, the skeleton. That what's Reagan's wife?
She was a
just say no. She remember that's what she started.
She made herself a job. Mm-hmm. Michelle Obama said, you know what, we're going to have kids eating healthy.
Yep.
She made herself a job. Lady Bird, Jackie Kennedy, they made themselves jobs and they were great.
She was just doing, I don't know what she was doing. She was fine doing it. Whatever she was doing. Whatever she was doing, Jackie Onassis, she was doing it right. I don't remember. I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, I think she was like Chancellor of Thatcher or whatever.
I feel like she was like
she elevated the actual position of First Lady by, you know what I mean?
Yeah, being
I have to give a comment from the side, but I think she showed that being the First Lady, you can have grace and elegance while being cheated on horrendously.
Yeah, that is what she did do that better than anybody.
By having your side piece singing to you on your birthday.
She couldn't even sing. Yeah. She couldn't even sing. It wasn't like she was like up there blowing like Beyonce. She was like doing the worst rendition "Happy Birthday" I ever fucking heard in my life. Like she should have got hit with a tomato. It was terrible.
That
was
on that Fergie level with the whole.
Yeah, that was worse than Fergie. That was pretty close to Fergie shit. So to answer the person's question, no, Joe Biden, like Bernie Sanders is not. They can't hide Bernie. Bernie Sanders is the bull in the china shop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's fucking with him for sure. If he goes up against anybody, mano a mano, right? Mm-hmm. He will come out victorious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about in a straight up debate. Like if it came down to that, like somebody tried to like pick on him or something like that, like they would get demolished because he has a track record and he's believable because he has a track record, right? Like he's been doing the work for so long, and he has the fucking ideas. Like he had all the. I'm telling you guys, if you don't know this, go look up Bernie Sanders' policies from 20 years ago. From 30 years ago, right?
Right. Look at videos of him in Congress and what he's talking about.
Go look at videos. He was a freaking mayor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he didn't have no power.
He had no power. Like go listen to the shit he was saying.
Medicare for all. He's the mayor of Burlington talking about Medicare for all.
Go listen to that shit 40 years ago, and then fast forward to now and be like, try to tell me like, I don't believe that guy.
And the point is, he looks exactly the same.
He looked old before. Now he looks good for his age, but back then it was like, damn, that fool looked old as fuck, man.
Right. And let's do this. Mostly, this is why. Look, the Democratic National Convention said that the debates the draw for each day was going to be random. They were going to do some moving around. Look, Biden and Sanders on the same stage is must-see TV, and they had to do it.
That's going to be great.
Only person mad about that is Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He hoped to have to confront Sanders when there was less choices to make.
Well, I think Joe Biden is happy that Elizabeth Warren ain't up there.
But I don't think he wanted. I think he didn't want Bernie Sanders.
He definitely didn't want Bernie because that's going to make him look bad.
And Bernie is
This is the contrast I'm saying. Like you know, and you know that the people in the field are going to pick on Biden a lot, right? Because he's like an easy prey to me. Like if I was like on the stage with Biden, I would just be like just nibbling at that motherfucker. Like,
but this is the only way it's going to mess up. But they get on the stage and then the moderator can really make this look dumb because something tells me it's going to come down to
CNN.
They're gonna throw softball questions at Joe Biden about socialism.
Yeah.
And say, well, what do you think about the socialism in the threat of socialism, and you got Bernie Sanders here, and he's a socialist. Do you think socialism is really the way?
Yeah.
And give Biden shit. That is not the way.
Yeah.
We're not.
America has always been good making money, and
right.
And we shouldn't. We don't need to make America great again. What's this quote? We need to get back to our morals, or make America get back. I mean, Joe Biden is really trash. Like, honestly, like, I don't even know who the fuck. I know it's old people that's thinking about voting for Joe Biden. I know that, but I'm happy that the election season is starting. That the debate season is starting, because Joe Biden should be out, honestly, before the election. People think I'm crazy. I really believe that he won't even make it to the election.
Oh, you're right.
I really believe that right now.
Do you remember who was ahead in 2016 in June in the Republican nomination? Who was the top?
Rubio?
Somebody like Rubio.
It was Rubio, I believe. Marco Rubio was the guy.
And Donald Trump was polling at 3%. People were saying the same thing. They were laughing all summer long. I was watching Donald Trump do his Trump rallies and things like that, and I was laughing because I was like, this is a great publicity. I was like, this is a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And then he actually won the nomination. I was like, it made me look at the Republican next door and think, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
And then he actually beat Hillary.
Yeah.
Like up until the day before, I didn't even really imagine him winning. And then the day before, I was like, what if he actually pulls this thing off? And then the polls started, and I would keep up with it as it's happening. After I voted, I'm keeping up with it after it happened. I'm like, by the time, because we're in California.
Yeah.
So by about midday,
we knew.
You see the moment, I was like, he's gonna win.
Yeah, I was like, he whooping their ass.
I was looking at my wife and saying, he's gonna win this thing.
Yeah, but you know what's not crazy about these? See, in America, we think shit like this is crazy, I think, right? But I think in like in the Scandinavian country, they just elected like a fucking a comedian or some shit, like right, Sweden or Finland, shit like that happens. And do what I'm saying, like, and we got fucking Trump. They got it. In America, though, we're so messed up, and we're so racist, we're so sexist, we're so whatever, we're so xenophobic that we won't allow ourselves to do something good for the betterment of everybody, for the majority. When I say that everybody, I mean the 98, 99% of people, right? Let's just be honest. When I say that, I really want to be specific. White people have a really hard time with empathizing with other groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a country that is 65%, 70% white damn near. The influence of white people as well, or white culture, also influences other subgroups like Mexicans, like Latinos, like Asians, whatever, right? Because once they come over here, white people let them partake in some of the riches. They give them bones, they give them scraps, and they go, I love the white man. Just like we talk about not Uncle Tom, but what's the dude from like Samuel L. Jackson's character in Django, mm-hmm. right? So you give them a little bit, and they, oh my God, yeah, Master's so good to me. Yeah, you let them in the house, let them sleep, and that's what they like. All right, cool. And they turn their backs on black people and whatever. So we always get left out in the cold, but we're going through this shit. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's easy for us to empathize with everybody, right? Because we know what the fuck it feels like to, but it's hard for white people, though. I'm not necessarily letting them off the hook, but by and large, like, that's what's happening. So we as a country, though, when that happens, we don't allow ourselves to do anything good for ourselves, which
that brings me to a very interesting point. Ty had asked a long time ago, and I just wanted to wait for you guys to get a little bit deeper in the debate, or in the conversation before I pose the question, but since we're now on that topic, as a candidate, would addressing income inequality lose a candidate's white supporters? Very, very good question based on what you guys have just now talking about.
Not necessarily, because it's to the point where income inequality doesn't just affect black people. It's not black
affected. Yeah.
People are still going to be like, I'm white, at least I'm white, and you're poor and I'm poor, but at least I'm white.
Yep.
But a lot of white people are starting to understand that the battle is not between racial issues. It's actually these very, very rich corporations and people taking advantage of poor people and working class people, and they're understanding that, you know what, later. But it's easier to be racist if I have health care.
Yes.
It's easier to be racist if my kids, I can afford for my kids to go to college.
I gotta be alive to be a racist.
Right, and so I think that it's actually racism, identity politics, those type of things are taking a back seat in a lot of ways.
Actual need.
To actual needs, to populist policies, and it's going to take someone, a populist candidate like Bernie Sanders,
which is why Trump won,
right,
by the way.
He's going to actually expose those type of things, because I mean, everybody knows that if Bernie Sanders would have won the nomination, we wouldn't be having these conversations right now.
Absolutely not. We wouldn't be talking about fighting with Iran. We would be out of at least 4 or 5 wars. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he would have been able to get out of every fucking war, but we definitely would have been out of Somalia. Like little, you know what I mean? And all these little proxy wars.
We would definitely have been out of Syria.
Syria for sure. All these little proxy wars we're fighting. We'd have been. I don't know about Iraq and Afghanistan. Who the freak knows? But yes, I don't 70% of America, black, white, or otherwise, 70% of Americans as a whole. So I don't believe that at all. I think that, I mean, if we go by the numbers, there's more poor white people than black people, right? You know what I'm saying? Like there's tons of fucking poor white people. Have you been to Alabama? Have you been to Mississippi? Have you been to Atlanta? Georgia? Have you been to Texas? Have you been there's tons of poor white people in California. You know what I'm saying? Like we live in IE, I see them all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then when you've got someone like Donald Trump who's touting, that we have a lower unemployment rate than ever, but if you think about it, real wages are down. People are working shit jobs.
And
basically,
the unemployment rate means absolutely nothing, because the unemployment rate a lot of it is based on people who are actively looking for work.
Right. And in California, the temp agencies rule this joint.
True.
Most people are working temp jobs, or they're not getting paid a living wage. And a lot of people all across the country are paying more than half of their income just to rent. And those things are, people, even though they have jobs, they're working just to basically barely make it. There's no prosperity attached to that. Meanwhile, the executive of these big corporations, their income or the majority of the wealth that's being generated in the United States through the working class in conjunction with these corporations, the majority of it is actually going to the 1%. Their income is actually rising by tens of percentage points.
Yeah.
So while wages have remained stagnant in America and inflation has gone up, the top 1% are getting paid more than ever.
Yep.
And they're still fighting over just giving a couple of crumbs in the form of a $15 minimum wage across the board.
Oh, they want it all.
Yeah,
they want it all. But it's not. But see, I think people think that the thing that corporations fear is losing money when they give you $15. That's not what they fear. They don't fear losing money giving you. Okay, why would Walmart be against welfare? Why would Walmart be against healthcare fraud? Right? Like why would they lobby against that? Which they do, right? Okay, cool. The reason why Jeff Bezos and these corporate assholes don't want you to get healthcare, right, is because of a few things. A, if you have healthcare, then you have flexibility. You're not a slave to them, right? I don't give a fuck. At least I got healthcare. You know what I'm saying? Like, I quit this job.
I go start my own business.
Whatever, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is though, if you look at in any socialist, country that where socialism is the percentage of socialist programs is higher than ones that favor capitalists, right? Or capitalism. What happens is that the more you give people, you think that giving somebody healthcare for, I'm saying as a corporation, they think, okay, give them healthcare for all. Fuck it, who cares? You give them healthcare for all. Now they're knocking at your door for something else. See what I'm saying? Because now they're emboldened, because now we don't have to fear losing our fucking jobs and not having healthcare. If you give everybody a basic income, right, living income, you're not afraid of where am I going to get my next meal from, right? If you give everybody kids the opportunity to go to college, they're not like, oh, I got to keep working so I can save to go to college for my kids or what. You see what I'm saying? Now they're asking for. Now they're at your doorstep, going, no, hey, we need our money. Run me my money, homie. Right. See what I'm saying? Right. And that's what they fear. They fear the train. They don't just it's not just about giving you $15 an hour. It's a slippery slope for them. And because you would think like, okay, $15 an hour, how much are they really going to lose? Maybe they lose a couple billion, right? Maybe they lose 2 or 3 billion, right? But to a company like Pepsi, who gives a fuck? What's 2 billion, right? But and by and large, they know like, damn, okay, but if we do that, now they're going to want paid vacations for 6 weeks a year.
Or I have a certain amount of people that work at minimum wage, and I have a certain other tier of middle management. They work for $15 an hour, basically, to their salary.
Yes.
Now, what are those people going to do when they're making the same as middle management?
You got to go to $45 an hour for
management. And then those people are going to be like that, and then the executives are going to be like, well, we're going to be the ones that take a pay cut in order to, because even though the company is not going to need that, they're going to make sure that they do that to the top people. They're going to say, well, you guys have to take a pay cut. Even though that's not true, they're going to still make it. Like, you got to take a pay cut in order for them to do that.
Absolutely.
And then, because keep in mind this, that's $15 minimum wage thing doesn't just, it's not something that's going to happen in a vacuum. It's going to come in conjunction with policies like they have in Germany, where the workers have to elect 40% of your board of directors.
Yes.
Things of that nature. We're talking about giving workers power over the means of production.
Yeah.
And when you do that, companies when you got people that feel like they're rich and powerful get scared when they have to share power with workers, because now you can't just give people the shaft in some private session somewhere and everybody just has to roll with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I was going to bring, in light of some of the things that are going to help Bernie's case. I was just showing Prince. I mean, in 2020, there's a healthcare reform that they've already passed. It's going to give, business employees access to their own individual coverage. It's basically taking the power away from these businesses. That's holding a gun to the employee's head, saying you either pay this premium or you don't have health insurance.
But it sounds like the public option to me.
That's all it is. The public
option. I'm straight on the public option. Yeah. The public option is something that you know what? I like the idea of the end of private insurance companies.
100%.
I like the idea of that. Like, they can get the hell out of here. Yeah. What have they ever done for people besides charging them for healthcare plus profit?
Yep.
And then and then look for ways to not cover things.
Yeah.
People have died because their insurance company that they paid money to have refused to cover things and have cost people their life.
Yeah. And suffering, even if they live through it, they suffer or whatever the
quality of life.
Well, good. Like, I'll use a real life example for that. My mom needs a back surgery right now. She has to pay. She has health insurance, right? So this is private insurance. This is how private insurance works. My mother has health insurance. She needs a back surgery. The health insurance only covers up to like 80%. Fuck it. Let's go crazy. Say 90%. Let's call it 90%. I think it's 80%, but I'll say 90% for argument's sake. Okay. The back. We know how to get you when you under the knife. When they got you knocked, it ain't like you could say nah to that, or you ain't getting a new car. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a surgery. So if they need to do something, they're gonna do it, right? You don't have any control over that.
That's right.
So you can go into it and try to budget as much as you want. They can say, I think you're gonna need this. I think you're gonna need that. I think you're gonna need that. This is gonna be $100,000. You're gonna pay 10 of it, right? Okay, cool. I got 10 racks. I got my money together. Then you get in there and they charge you $150. You dig what I'm saying? Now you got $15,000 that. Fuck, man. And my mom is 62 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't got $15,000 in the bank to pay for no help.
Well, most people don't have $500.
For my mama don't either. But so that is a real life scenario that I can, like, right now. My mom is going through that right now.
Right.
And the private insurance company, she's paying insurance. Why in the fuck wouldn't she be covered 100%? That makes no goddamn sense whatsoever.
Something that's debilitating.
It's a back problem, man. Like, you don't cover a back problem.
And that's the thing. People are afraid of paying more taxes, but if you realize it, because you pay premiums, you pay co-pays, pay for prescriptions, those things. When you add those things up for the average household, do you know that the average household of 4 is paying over $14,400 a year for their health coverage?
In taxes.
That's not gonna, and you're still paying taxes.
Yeah.
So imagine taking that, instead of paying that 14.4, maybe you pay $5,000 to $8,000 more in taxes, and then all of those things are covered, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, and then also add you get better coverage too.
Better.
Like at the end of it all,
at the end of it, you get better.
You get better coverage.
You get Medicare. Medicare is the most popular insurance program in the country.
Medicare is the shit.
Old people are ecstatic. Old people are ecstatic when they cross that age barrier.
They're like, fuck yeah, I got Medicare.
Like, oh, Medicare. They kiss, even those that can afford private insurance, they kiss their private insurance provider so fast. Yes, the way that Medicare now, it's not perfect. Some people have to have Medicare supplemental plans depending on what their needs are as they get older. But they're going to expand Medicare as well as part of the Medicare for All, and that's going to make that unnecessary for you to get a supplemental plan.
Peace, Professor. Let me go ahead and ask him. So his question to both of y'all is: do you want all people to receive free government health care, i.e. HP?
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, of course. Like, and I like to be specific. When you say free, it ain't free, right? We're paying for. We're already. And we're already paying for it. Here's the funny part: we're already paying for it right now. Your tax dollars are already paying for it. It's just shitty, and you're not getting the coverage you need, right? So yes, I think that every single person, and I know. I'm guessing if that means immigrants or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I don't care whoever.
When they say all people, I'm sure they're alluding to something.
Yeah.
But especially because we know the crowd, the Soapbox Heroes Network, our lovely fans. By the way, you guys hit the subscribe. If you haven't, if you're not already subscribed, hit that notification bell. And in the middle, you're always gonna make sure that when we post videos, you're gonna get it, as well as any other videos that are posted on the Soapbox Heroes Network as well. Okay, thanks for your support. But 80% of people get their insurance from their employer, and it's terrible. And the employer is always looking for how they can save the most money on the insurance plan.
So what do? Every year you fucking sign up. Last year you have Blue Cross. You fell in love with your Blue Cross. Oh, I like Blue Cross. I like my doctor and all that stuff. Oh no. This year we're going to
understand with this healthcare reform, because I've done deep in this. Friend of the people knows me. I'm on camera, but friend of the people knows I spend a lot of time digging into compliance in the world. But one of the things about this particular change that benefits business is they get a tax cut for helping their employees.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, they get a credit. Yeah, for sure. They get a credit.
So they're not going to be too hot with saying, or they're not going to be hot at saying, all right, go get your own insurance, because one, that's going to save pig out of their pocket.
Yeah.
Dealing with insurance companies, because just as much as they rape the employee, they rape the employer if you're small.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially small businesses.
Small businesses should be all for fucking Medicare for. They should be like, boom.
That takes one thing off your list, because a lot of times you have people, even people working in doctor's offices, that their employer cannot afford to give them insurance.
Yes.
And they don't have insurance because of it.
And that's crazy.
That's absolutely
that's freaking so bad.
They can't go, the doctor that works there,
they can't afford it.
Right, take care of the people. And then like Prince said, it's already like, dude, your network changes anytime your employer wants it to. If your doctor's not in a network, you lose your doctor. People are already paying $400 or $500 a month just for like a family of four or more.
Oh no, it's more than that.
Some people are paying $700 out of your check per month. There's no way you don't pay that, but you don't pay nowhere near that in taxes. And
you know what's shitty about that too is that a lot of times people will go get jobs that they don't even fucking like.
Right.
For healthcare benefits. Like I know that.
Stay at a job.
Or stay at it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have no freedom now. You're trapped. Because I got somebody I know personally that hates their fucking job, hates where they're at. They got a government job though, so they got the free healthcare. It's all included or whatever, and they don't want to leave just because of that. Every single time we talk about leaving, he's like, "Oh, what's your health care like over there? What's your health insurance like over there?" And I was like,
he knows that once he leaves the job, he has to pay for it.
He got to pay for it. He has to pay for it. He got kids. He got a wife. He's like, no, I got to pay for that shit. So, like me personally, I got my kids on Medi-Cal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I pay for my personal insurance, and then boom, bingo, bango, bongo. But I couldn't imagine having to pay for my whole family.
Right.
Like I would.
You see the family plans during your enrollment period. You look at the price of those family plans; they're absolutely insane.
It's crazy, and it's twice a month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you will look at it and be like, $800. Then you like, wait a minute, that's $800 every fucking check. That's $1,600 net, baby. Like, nah.
And then you pay that 12 times a year.
You pay that 12 times a year. So if they told you right now you pay $500 more in taxes and your whole family's gonna be covered, and you're gonna get way better insurance, and we're gonna say fuck off the Blue Shield, fuck off the Aetna, fuck, you know what I'm saying, whoever, bump all these other private insurance companies, and you say no to that, you're effing crazy. And that's why 70% of Americans want Medicare for all now, right? 10 years ago, if you were talking about Medicare for all, people would have been like,
take your ass to Canada.
yeah, take your ass to Canada. I don't know. I don't think that capacity. Kind of like, hold on. But to be fair, kind of like what we're talking about with reparations, how we feel like reparations is a pipe dream. I feel like reparations is a pipe dream right now, today.
Right.
That don't mean that I don't want it. That don't mean I don't believe we deserve it or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I think that there are other issues though that we would have to address along with getting reparations anyway that we're addressing right now, like healthcare, like Green New Deal, you know, things like that.
And once we get those things in place, reparations will be sweet.
We can fight, but also if we get those things, here's what I was trying to say before. Now you're not so afraid to challenge the system.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Because now you're not like now you're like, hey man, we need reparations. Now we can strike. Now we can do, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what, and that's another thing they fear. They don't want to give you anything because they know once you get a little bit, you're gonna want more. You're gonna want what you deserve. Like I don't want to be a millionaire or a billionaire. Like I don't aspire to do those things. Like I really don't. Like I don't care. That's not like something that's in my heart to make an inordinate amount of money. I don't feel like that's going to make me a better person. I don't feel like I need that or anything like that for me to be happy, right? Mm-hmm. But but what I want is equity. I want a good quality of life for my kids, for y'all, for, you know what I'm saying, for my neighbors or whatever. Like I want everybody to fucking be healthy and happy. Right. Like that. Like ultimately, that's what I want.
Right.
So if you give me and I'm semi-secure, but if you give me anything where I don't have to be worried about losing my job or whatever, oh yeah, burn this bitch down.
Okay. It's funny you said that, Prince, because you asked a question personal. Maccabee, and I'm gonna get you tapped in, my friend. I mean, he been on you, so
well, we know Maccabee, and that's the brother right there.
All right. The first couple questions he asked you, you covered it already. Mm-hmm. Sounds like, I'm gonna answer that question for you, Maccabee. Sounds like he ain't really worried about $1 million, so I don't think you worried about getting taxed $700,000 a year. That's what the question was. So you addressed that really good, smooth. Thank you for that. Save me from work. One of the questions you did ask is if you two started a business, would you give the employees the power?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. 100%.
Because your employees are who's gonna make you who you are. So you do give employees power. You don't give them all the power. You share.
You share the power. No one person should have all the freaking power in the company.
Right. Doesn't make sense.
That's crazy.
You depend on your employees. That's your team. That's your clique. Yeah. You work with people. You don't have people working for you. You have people that you work with, and everybody's empowered, and your business will be more successful. But let me address this because I know Maccabee, he has a misconception, and a lot of people have misconceptions. I've heard a few times people have misconceptions about progressive tax and how it works. Okay, if you make $1 million, they're not taking $700,000.
Nope.
What they're doing is once you make your $10 millionth dollar, that's taxed at the regular rate, which right now is lower than ever been. It's somewhere 20-something percent. So that first $10 million is taxed at 20%, and the highest bracket.
Yep.
That 10 millionth and first dollar, you have to give 70% of, and then subsequently 70% of any money over $10 million. Okay.
Okay. So
who makes more than $10 million? How do you make more than $10 million?
In America, probably 50. Like a year, you know what I'm saying? Like
right.
ain't that many
so
people.
You're talking about people that are going to be mad about that. You're talking about your athletes, movie stars,
CEOs, like really, really big CEOs,
big time CEOs,
big time.
Like
Pepsi CEO, right? You know, Jeff Bezos,
right. And then and this is and so basically when you're talking about the 70%, they don't get stuck on 70% because back in the 60s and the 70s,
90%.
The tax rate over your $10 million was not. It wasn't even $10 million. It was over $1 million. $1
million, 90%.
Was 90%, and America was booming.
Yep.
And the rich people was getting richer, and they did not have a problem with it. See, the only reason you have a problem with it is because you misunderstand it.
Well, no, they want to I think they want to misunderstand.
I think you want to. Yeah, it sounds cool to say, well, if I make $1 million, you're gonna take $700,000. No, they're not.
But also, here's
that's not true.
Okay.
So when you say that, you can stop that. It's a false dichotomy.
Yes.
It's not the way it works. So please comment if you understood that.
But also, can we just be like, for me, I personally though don't give a freak if I $300,000. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, just for argument's sake, I'm saying, right? Like $300,000 is like a lot of, like I'm saying like a year, not like for one time. I'm saying like a year. $300,000 is a lot of freaking money, man. Like you don't need more than $300,000 to be happy anywhere in the world. Like if you make $300,000 a year, you're gonna be freaking happy. For sure, without a doubt. You ain't gonna be worried about nothing. You want as many vacations as you want. Your family gonna eat forever, ever, and ever, and ever, and ever.
Right. I can understand but if you say, oh, I made $1 million of revenue and I took home 300,000 of it.
I'm gonna be salty.
I understand. No, I understand why you're upset, but you won't miss it.
You ain't gonna miss it though.
Unless you're trying to, I don't know.
Trying to live like if you're trying to live like Mayweather.
Right. I don't have a problem paying taxes. Okay. We all and don't get mad like, oh well, you're not rich, because poor people pay percentage-wise more taxes.
You pay more taxes.
So I don't have a problem paying taxes. I want to make sure that my taxes are feeding my neighbors. I want to make sure that my taxes are making sure that my neighbors are not sick.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that my taxes are taking care of children, impoverished people. I don't want my taxes going to war and buying battleships and all kinds of stuff that I can't have. So you're not asking the government why I can't have a damn battleship. Y'all got a battleship. Yeah. Why can't I take? You're not talking to them like that.
You're not asking the government why aren't you cutting my taxes when you're cutting the taxes for Jeff Bezos and for Amazon and for Facebook and for Pepsi and for all these people. You're not asking, well, damn, they didn't pay any taxes.
Right.
Why am I paying 38%? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not saying nothing. But if I tell you, hey, we want to tax those rich assholes over $10 million, they can make $10 million. But after that, and also, can we do this? The 70% tax rate isn't literally 70% after it. There's loopholes in there and shit like that, like it is in any tax break. There's tax breaks in there. It
actually encourages them to give money away.
Exactly. It's the same shit. So at the end of the day, maybe they end up getting taxed 40%, 50%. But right now they're getting taxed 0%. See what I'm saying? That's the problem. If you don't think that's a freaking problem, you don't understand economics. This is basic economics.
And not only that, 8% of the budget, of the discretionary budget, goes to welfare programs.
Mm-hmm.
35% of the military, of the discretionary budget goes to military.
But 51% of our overall budget goes to military.
And you're not asking any questions of the government. And what do you think is going to happen to that number when they start this war that they're about to start?
Oh,
what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think they got the side note. I think they got that at the beginning. I think the $80 million, was it 800 or 80 million? I think it was 80 million, right? Mm-hmm. Trump got a increase in the tax budget earlier this year. That fucking Nancy Pelosi and all these people who call him crazy fucking gave him this money. And I'm like, well, if you think he's crazy, why are you giving him $80 million? So they gave him all this money. I think they gave him the money for this war. I think they knew this. I mean, because these wars have been planned out for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like these wars ain't new. So yes, but I want to read something for those people who don't understand about capitalism, right? Only
what is this from?
This is the meme. This is the funny meme.
Meme knowledge.
Meme knowledge. We're gonna get y'all some meme knowledge because it's funny. So only 8 people have 50% of the world's wealth, which is a fact. But I might be the person I'm not the person saying this. It's the person saying this shit. You guys can see it. So he says, but I might be one of those eight someday. So I don't think we should do anything about it.
That's exactly what you're feeling. When you start getting mad, you think that you can live. See, I don't understand because, especially with McAfee and some of the things that he said, because we've debated before. Mm-hmm. In case you guys don't know, I've debated McAfee a couple of times, especially and on this same issue. That on one end of the spectrum, you're cursed by God. Mm-hmm. And you can't prosper because of the curse until you return to the statutes and commandments. Mm-hmm. On another end of that spectrum, you think though, they speak against, as far as Israelites are concerned, the American dream itself, like it doesn't really exist in its illusion. Yeah. But however, when we talk about helping poor people, all of a sudden you want it reserved so you can live that American dream that
you are never going to live,
and that your worldview has already said you weren't ever going to live. Yeah. But you're still holding on to that. So it's almost like a contradiction of your own worldview. Yeah. When you try to promote an American dream, but at the same time you think that we're being systematically marginalized because of the anger of your God. Yeah. You can't have it both ways. You have to either concede to your worldview or change your worldview. That either one's fine, but you can't be 1 foot in on this conservative capitalism stuff.
Yeah.
And then want to pull it out whenever you think, the racists are coming for you. You need to embrace them, or not,
or when you think the progressives are coming for you.
Right.
That's it, because we're not.
But that's what I brought up today. Remember in the chat room that we have, right?
Mhm.
I brought up it's that my for and no more type of situation where you look at each individual thing and how it affects you,
Mhm.
and when in actuality our social contract actually requires some form of altruism where we're actually doing something for the collective, even if it means personal sacrifice.
Absolutely.
You guys don't care about people if you can't do that. Even monkeys are altruistic and give up certain things in order to feed the collective.
Yes, sir.
You don't mind if I tap in?
No.
Oh, Betty, I just want to say, I used to work at Amazon, and I can promise you this: they're making $11.6 billion and paying no taxes while taking stock options and compensation plans from their employees. And I typed this in the chat.
Yeah.
So y'all can read this.
Yeah.
All while taxing their employees the same amount they've always taxed them is bogus. And saying that they're giving people jobs, that's not jobs, almost low-key slavery, because I've worked in that warehouse. And if you work for 10 hours a day, and you work 20 miles a day, and that's no lie, y'all. 20 miles a day.
You walking
and you make $12.75 an hour, and at one point you were promised that you could get five stocks in a company that's worth $3,500 a share. You're motivated.
For sure.
Then you turn around and tell these people, hey, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna give you $15 an hour.
We're gonna take that $35.
But there's stocks that you used to get, and I promise you, they did this in a meeting because I worked there, and everybody cheered when they heard $15 an hour. I promise you that warehouse was lit. And as soon as they all got to waiting for everybody to calm down and said, but
watch for
here's the deal. Those stocks that you were promised.
Watch for the hook. Like my nigga Cuddy used to say.
That's the hand. That's how it worked. Because they was what? Oh, they used to get paid in the warehouse. They actually used to get something like a commission where they got 8% to 16% depending on the performance of their warehouses. And some of these warehouses consistently performed above grade to where people were actually making more than the minimum wage of $15 an hour, with the promise of a almost $15,000 check if they work for 2 years.
Wow.
And now you're telling me they deserve a tax break because they're just creating jobs? But Alexandra Ocasio, what's her name? AOC? She knew what the deal was before they came to New York. And I'm trying to tell you, people that work at Amazon that have died in warehouses knew the deal was before they went there and worked there too. So it ain't their fault. But I'm telling you right now, $11.6 billion and they didn't pay a single penny in taxes.
That's fucked up.
No, that ain't no. That
You
ain't
actually
no
pointed something out that was really important that they took the stock part about.
Yeah.
The most important thing when you run those type of large corporations is about your ability to buy back stock.
Absolutely.
And so they said, you know what? Yeah, let's give them the more money. But we gotta take this. It's more important for us to take that stock back because that's something that appreciates with value. Your American dollar, I hate to break it to you, but the longer it stays in your pocket, it actually appreciates the value if you don't have it in the bank or doing something with it.
To keep up with the inflation, it has to be getting interest. But also to your point, or to kind of elaborate on that. So the stock buyback is a reason why the stock market is doing so well right now. Because the rich got all of these tax cuts, and what did they do with it? They don't go out and buy 10,000 cars, believe it or not. That's not what they do. They don't go hit up the Toyota dealership.
They're not robbing leech like that.
Yeah, they're not. I'm just saying. I'm saying on a practical level, right? Like they don't go to the fucking Toyota dealership and buy 20,000 for a fleet of fucking Toyota Corollas, and like that's not what they do. They don't go out and buy apartment complexes or build apartment complexes and then house regular people, and they're not giving back to us.
They don't create new jobs.
They don't create new jobs. So literally, they don't. They just got. I forgot what company it was. I think it was Ford. Got a tax cut, and they cut 1,700 jobs. They got a tax cut 1,700 jobs. So they're winning on both ends. They just save money on the tax cut, and they saving money cutting fucking workers.
Right.
So.
And they probably bought back stock.
And they bought back stock with the money. That's literally what they did.
To their top.
That's all. So we have to get out of this cycle of protecting the wealthy. It makes no sense, man. Like at some point in time, we have to stop thinking that one day I'm gonna be like them. Hey, man, I need for you guys to understand this. you're never going to be a fucking millionaire. Like, I'm just being real. I'm not hating on none of y'all.
Or if you're a millionaire now, you're never gonna be a billionaire.
Yeah, like let's just be 100. You're not
Puff Daddy.
You're not gonna be a millionaire. Like, I'm not saying you're not gonna be, because I don't want people to think, because we think in America, we think that if I tell you you're not gonna be a millionaire, I'm telling you you're not gonna be successful. That's not what I'm saying at all. There's levels to this shit, as Meek Mills would say, right? You're not going to ever be you're not gonna do it.
You're not gonna
You're not gonna make $10 million a year. That's never gonna, bro, that's never gonna happen. Give it up. So, but what you can do is you can make $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year, have health care cover. You can make $200,000 a year, have health care cover, have your kids in school, have a clean environment, have clean roads, have jobs. Like, these things are doable, are feasible. In the right now, not in 20 fucking years, not next lifetime, like Erykah Badu would say. Today, that's what we got to start fighting for. That's what we need to, when we're in this in the debates, we need to be listening for those types of words. We need to be listening for people talking about, like you're talking about wealth inequality, right? How are you going to address it? How, Sway? No fucking platitude. We're talking about a real life plan. How are you going to implement it? How is it going to be paid for? And no. In all honesty, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't give a fuck. If you have a good idea, I never ask how are we going to pay for it. That's a right-wing trick. How are we going to pay for it? How the fuck did they just pay for 10 tankers? How the fuck did they just pay to give the top 1% a $2 trillion pay cut?
Right.
A tax cut.
On a practical level, how do you pay for things in your home? You prioritize.
You budget. You prioritize.
The things that are most important in your home.
We're not going to go out to Starbucks 2 times this month so we could get what pay $30 for the kids to go get dance lessons or whatever.
I'm not going to the casino this month to blow my rent. I'm going to pay my rent. And the reason being is because I need that. The priority is to have a place for me and my children to live.
Yeah.
So just like there's priorities in home budget, see, we can't run in a deficit.
No, home budgets can't. Governments can operate in the red all day long,
and still be called successful.
Yes.
But we operate in the red. We can't do that in a home budget. So why would it make sense to do that on a government level? I understand governments have to borrow money from people, but people buy bonds and things of that nature. And if you want to do that, that's a great way to invest your money a lot of times. To buy bonds and things of that nature, but the level of deficit right now in the richest country in the world is absolutely ridiculous, and we need somebody we don't work, but it's indicative of the fact that we don't worry about how we're gonna pay for stuff.
Don't worry about that. And we need to stop this. We need to get a businessman, because that's another thing that got Trump elected, because a lot of ignorant people. Like they think America is a bit, like, we joke, right? To some degree, we say America is a corporation.
Right.
But people don't understand what that really means. It's incorporated, right? But it's not like you just proved it's not a real corporate. Like, there aren't many businesses. Amazon can operate in the red.
Right.
That's a part of their business plan. They will operate in the red from time to time.
And then they will go black.
And they'll go black. I mean, they'll jump up like crazy, but that's what they'll do.
Black Friday, and then that's called Black Friday. People go into the black, and then
Netflix operates in the black. When we go back to Amazon, a way Amazon works is they basically that's how shit is so cheap on Amazon. They undercut everybody. So you're like, how are they? It's like being a drug. It's like moving weight, right? If you new on the block, what you do is niggas is doing 2 for 10s, niggas is doing 2 for 15s or whatever. You do 2 for 10s. They doing 2 for 15s, you do 2 for 10s, right? You keep doing that shit. Eventually, you're gonna lose a little money on the front end, but eventually your shit good, you know what I'm saying? You'll have all the clientele eventually, and that's what they do. That's how these companies could work. America is not a fucking company though, man. We're gonna get the money back, because like you said, it's the people. The government is the people. The people are always making money.
Right.
As by and large, like the group, we're always making money. We're always working. We have to. Right. If we don't, the system crashes. You know what I'm saying? Because the system is us. So we're always working. You know what I mean? There's always going to be money in the pot.
Right.
What do we do with the money in the pot? Who do we give it to? right? Give it to the kids. Give it to us, man. I want some money, man. Like, and when I say I want money, I'm not talking about like literal, like money. You don't have to give me money, but I want it in the form of a program, right? I want healthcare. I want you to be able, if you have an issue, a mental health issue, to go be able to afford a psychiatrist.
At any time.
At any time. If you have a problem,
I don't want you to be like, I can't afford to go get my medication.
That's crazy.
I don't want that.
That's fucking crazy.
For anyone.
For anybody, dude. But because the truth of the matter is that shit affects me. I try to tell people this all the time. Even if you want to be selfish, even if you don't give a fuck about nobody else, think about the ramifications of a person who has mental health issues in the world and how that affects you, right? Think about the homeless. It costs more to have the homeless on the street than it does to pay for housing for the homeless.
Or to find some police officers to lock them up.
You know what I'm saying? However, I'm saying that's all a part of it. That's all a part of the cost of having them on the street, because you got to pay police to police them, blah, 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 right? Okay, cool. So we took that money. If it's $90 million a year, $100 million a year in LA to keep people homeless, or it's $80 million or $92 million to put them in a housing system or something like that, we pay the 92 and we put them in a housing system. Right? It's humane and it saves you money. So even if you're thinking selfishly, it saves you money. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what we need to start understanding. Like that's what I try to appeal to people, because a lot of people don't give a fuck about other people. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, even if you don't, I'm talking to anybody who you don't care about them fucking immigrants, you don't care about no fucking homeless people, they just made bad decisions and blah, 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 blah.
People that don't care about paying their medical, like they don't have to think about their insurance, and it's not like a burden on them.
Yeah.
They don't want Medicare for all. And the people that didn't have a problem, that were paying to get their kids into college and all that shit, they don't want free education for all. Yeah. Because one of the things,
it's the equalizer though.
One of the things is this. Like, imagine Medicare for all. We all have Medicare cards. Mm-hmm. And even the richest people in this country have Medicare cards. We all go to the same. Now we all go to the same really good doctor. The doctor's going through the stuff, and he can't tell the difference with your Medicare card or $1 billion.
They don't care. It doesn't matter. They're gonna make the same amount of money no matter what.
Anyway, now it comes down to stuff like, who made the appointment first? Who's not? And these people are used to having special treatment that comes along with their money and power.
I'm hoping y'all really don't get lost in the rhetoric about Amazon, because that's what the chat seems to be talking about. What? Let me scale it back. First of all, there was a question asked directly to me.
You took my spot as the angry guy, and now you're suffering for it.
I want the people that don't see my face to understand. I'm just here to be the moderator and help these gentlemen run a tight show. Get like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Answer one question that was asked directly to me. Do I think the businesses should be taxed till they go out of business? Hell no. I think they should be taxed until they pay the same amount of money I'm paying. If I'm paying 38% in taxes, hold on, if I'm paying 38% in taxes at $36,000.
$36,000.
$36,000.
38%.
Come on, man. You serious? And you say you're a multimillionaire. I get it. You probably are on the side of Amazon because you have a lot more money than I do. But let me tell you something. If you were getting taxed at 38% on all of your millions, you would want a break too. And if Amazon is getting a break on 11.6 at 0 tax rate, come on, man. And I work in the warehouse, and I'm not saying everybody work in the warehouse. I saw that too. But you do realize they outsource 90% of their excuse my French, but they outsource 90% of their call center support to India, right?
Oh yeah, we know that.
And I used to work for a mortgage bank when I was a loan officer and owned my own business. To answer another question in the chat, and I went to India, and guess what? I set up 2 call centers in India for the amount of money it would have taken me to hire 2 of these Negroes. Full time at minimum wage at that time in 2006. Yep. So please please make sure you understand. I was creating jobs, because I see you had to be. I did create jobs, but guess what? I created them for not Americans.
Yeah, and that's terrible.
And guess what? For the 4 Indians that got hired, for the 1 person I could have got hired here, their country is a third world country that still supported better healthcare than ours does for people without healthcare. Do not get lost in the rhetoric. trying to protect Amazon and the corporate idealistics. It's never going to work in a country where 95% of the people without money have no voice. And if you're telling me the only thing that matters in America is money, then damn sure we need somebody that's talking something that's different than money.
You know, if somebody makes $11 billion and they tax them $1 billion, you have to pay $1 billion in taxes, but it's only 9%, right?
Yeah.
So let's just keep it real. Somebody makes $11 billion, they don't pay any taxes whatsoever. You mean to tell me you can't just put $1 billion in, $2 billion in?
Yeah.
That's only 18%.
Throw two back in the pot, man.
That's still 18.
I challenge the next person to call tech support and tell me what their accent is that's complicating threats. Just do that for me. If they even sound English, I'll shut up.
Yeah.
If they sound anything,
they might sound English like from England.
I know that's what I'm saying. And let me let you know,
have an English
we go on a
accent.
whole history. We go on a history trip if you want to learn that in 1906 the English owned India. So that's why
what I'm saying. They might have
the
English. Yeah.
But trust me when I tell you, if you ask them where they're from, they are not going to tell you they're from Dublin, Ohio.
They from
That's
Mumbai.
all I'm saying.
They from Mumbai.
So let's dig into these debates, because basically the people that are commenting, I already know. This is the conversation I have with you guys all the time. So I mean, I don't mind having it again.
Yeah.
But
no, let's do what we came here to do. Let's educate the people on what to look for. And
so day one of the debate there, and you know what? I just gotta say something as far as day one of the debate. This is a perfect opportunity for Tulsi Gabbard to come to the forefront, to actually make some big.
her message is gonna be so strong up there with these motherfuckers.
So strong, because basically, if you're going Bill de Blasio, a warmonger, Tim Ryan, a nobody, Julian Castro, he was one of the guys that got in early, and people have rejected.
He's flitty. He go whichever way the wind blows.
The people have rejected him. Cory Booker is bought by Wall Street. Elizabeth Warren, again, just lacks the political courage.
Elizabeth Warren is a liar, first of all.
Right.
Proven liar.
Right.
Proven with beyond a shadow of a doubt she's a liar.
Hey, can you pull up the Beto O'Rourke website, please?
Like Robert was just saying, she lacks political courage. Elaborate on that real quick, because I did want you to touch on that. What is political courage?
The political courage is the ability. It's an ability to make things happen, and to not sway like a palm tree in a hurricane every time the winds of change come through your island. And Elizabeth Warren has been in Congress for a while now. She's been a senator for a while now, and she has shown a lack of political courage. The number one way that she did that was in 2016 when she decided to support Hillary Clinton, even though her policy and her views match up a lot better with Bernie Sanders. She turned her back on progressive ideas, and she's supported Hillary Clinton, and I believe she helped rig the Democratic nomination.
I don't think she helped rig it.
No, she was part of the fluff.
She didn't stop it though.
She was part of she knew about the play. She knew the play. They called the play in the huddle.
Yeah.
She was in the huddle. She went along with the play, and then not only that, and now in this 2020 election, she's done even more to try to distance herself, because I think she knows that she sounds a lot like Bernie Light. Like, why do we need you if we have Bernie Sanders?
Yes.
So she does stuff like says, "Well, I'm a capitalist.
I'm a capitalist at heart."
Right.
Through and through.
I'm a capitalist. She to separate herself. Like,
yeah.
Wait a minute. Even though you might like some of the things Bernie says, but if he's a little bit too far to the left for you,
you got me here.
You got me. I will actually go more right if you need me to.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm a capitalist.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about the socialism thing.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
I'm not a crazy.
I'm progressive, but I'm not one of the socialist progressives. I'm more of a moderate progressive.
I'm a moderate progressive.
Which is like a jumbo shrimp. So oxymoron.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. You can't be moderately progressive. You either is or you ain't.
Right.
So that was great. I like that you broke that down. So let's go number one, or let's go number two. We already went through Biden. I would say next, if you want to touch on, these are the top 5 people. We're not going on the days of per se. We're just going to go with the top 5 candidates that are polling the highest.
Oh, and Bernie, because we did go with Biden. We did talk about healthcare. Education. I did put education on here for Bernie as well. Mm-hmm. He wants to make public colleges, universities, and trade schools tuition free.
That's great.
He knows the college. See, a lot of people are going with the college thing because of Bernie. First of all, this is something that people start bringing up because of Bernie. But he's actually going to say trade schools as well because he knows that some people just want to get a trade.
Can you?
The difference between going to a university and actually getting a trade.
Can you read that next one for my black people out there?
He's going to fully fund historical black colleges and universities.
Amen.
So it's going to be, you know, free. So if you decide, you know what, I want to go to Howard. If you can get into Howard, you go to Howard.
Can you read the?
Even though Howard's a private. Howard's a private school.
Yeah, no, there is no historically black school. That's a state school.
Well, LSU,
Grambling. Never mind.
Yeah, Grambling.
LSU was definitely not a black school. But Grambling State, Grambling State, yes. I'm sorry. A&T. There's a few. I take that back. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. My bad. I was thinking like Hampton, Xavier.
We've got some great private schools that are going to be fully funded.
Yes.
So if you getting an education from Howard is like getting one from Harvard.
It should be like for black people. Howard should be the black Harvard.
Like, black people should all stop going to Harvard and go to Howard.
Man, I've been saying,
especially if you want to be a lawyer, a politician.
I've been on that shit forever. Like, dude, why the fuck do y'all want to, like, never mind.
Even great public, there are great public schools. Like the #1 public school in the United States is UCLA.
UCLA,
Right. And
but Berkeley, basically the UCLA.
They have high standards to get in.
Super high.
But to be able to, if you can get into those schools, being able to pay for them, not having to pay for them, if you can get in, is beautiful.
It's awesome. Now I want you to, I want to read this one. So substantially lower student debt. The reason why these things are important is because the reason why I want to highlight some of these things. I want black people to understand how these things affect black people, right? So the way systematic oppression works, real quick, the way systematic oppression works nowadays is they use dog whistles. They write policies that they know will disproportionately harm a certain group of people. Right? Whether it be women, whether it be black people, whether it be black men, black women, they can literally write policies that specifically target a specific group of people. Like not even like I'm saying, they have policies in place right now that specifically target black men, not black women. You see what I'm saying? Like the war on drugs didn't target black women, it targeted black men.
That's why I don't have a problem letting black women go right now and pardoning them. That wasn't the intention.
Yeah, that was never a problem. So and I don't want black women, they don't give a fuck about y'all. Don't get me wrong. I know they don't give. I know
they got something for y'all.
They got something for y'all too. I'm just talking about specifically about that policy. I don't want y'all to think like I'm saying like black men. Yeah. Women got it terrible. Black women got it really, really rough. I know that. But so that's the way systematic oppression works. They write blanketed policies that on the surface seem like, oh, it could affect everybody, and then it ends up specifically affecting a certain group of people, right? So how do you combat that? You write general policies that will disproportionately in a good way affect whatever group of people that were being oppressed, i.e. substantially lower student debt. So let's say Bernie Sanders was like, hey, or any politician, hey, we want to wave a magic wand, we want to get rid of student debt by and large, 90%, 75%, 80%, right? Okay, cool. The vast majority of people, no, not the vast majority of people, the people who are affected the most, by and large, when it comes down to when you look at the demographics. So if you look at it like the rates of people that are affected, I'm just making up the number, but like 40% of black students are affected by student debt, right? Like it's more than that, but I'm just saying, right? We per capita hold the most student debt. Black people do specifically. If any politician is talking about erasing student debt, who will that affect the most? Black people.
Black people, of course.
That's how it works. When they talk about health care for all, what people have the worst quality of life in America, the worst quality, get the least amount of, the least access to healthcare. Black people. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how these policies work. You want to talk about reparations? That's dope. I think reparations is something different. Like I've seen stuff where they were saying like, you should erase all student debt for black people. I'm like, no, you can't do that. That's stupid. That's not how it should work. You should erase student debt for everybody, and it will disproportionately affect us. You should give us money specifically. That's a part of reparations. You should acknowledge what you did to us specifically, but These other policies that we're talking about should be a blanketed thing that just affect Americans in general, but specifically they're going to help us the most. So back to what we were talking about. So Bernie wants to substantially lower student debt. He wants to significantly lower interest rates on student loans. Same thing. Both of those things are gonna affect us the most. You see what I'm saying? So I want Black people to understand how we need these programs more than anybody. We need these things to happen as a group. We need these things to happen more than any other group in America, right? So let's get on. Let's try to look for the things that affect us, that are gonna affect us the most. You got something you want to say?
I'm just looking at this act. You continue, but I was just looking at this act that Bernie Sanders introduced, the 99.8% Act.
Yeah, I was reading that today. It's interesting.
And it basically just takes a shot at generational wealth.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, generation skip transfer taxes. So basically, if you're going to be giving away your money before you die to your son, or whatever,
it's going to get taxed.
it's going to be taxed, or if this is after you die, before your estate is chopped up. These are the revenue, and basically it is it's something that you libertarians and Republicans should really love. If you think about it, it's go get your own money. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So if I'm a billionaire and I want to leave my son $1 billion, they're going to tax it at, $546 billion.
77%.
Right, plus 77% of the excess in the amount.
That's a lot. And they're still going to get a lot of money. That's still, you know what I mean? Like, you're still going to get tons of money.
You're going to get tons of money.
But you ain't going to get $1 billion.
You're going to get hundreds of millions of dollars, but you're not going to get $1 billion.
No.
You're going to get something like $200 million.
So let's continue.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps for $200 million.
Yeah, I think anybody could or should be able to. Let's continue. So right now we're on Joe Biden. We got past the education thing. We're on to healthcare. Healthcare. We should defend and build upon the Affordable Care Act. I'm just gonna stop right there and say, fuck that idea.
I mean,
fuck the Affordable Care Act.
Wow. I mean,
fuck that shit.
Obamacare was like a terrible social experiment that has now gone wrong. It's like, it's rotten in the petri dish.
Yep.
And it's
but we knew it was gonna be fucked up
because of the way it is. It basically was Mitt Romney's healthcare plan.
Yeah, it was Romney Care. So, and also to continue that, it says that affordable care to ensure every American has access to quality health care. Fuck access. Access, I have access
to Disneyland.
But I can't afford to go there though, because it's too fucking much money.
And then when I have to bring my kids along.
Yeah. Actually, I take that back. I can go to Disneyland. I can't bring my family to Disneyland. Yeah, I could go have me a good time in Disneyland. If I wanted to go, I'd go visit Star Wars. I could have a great day in the park by myself. But if I got to bring my kids and my wife,
you might not be married when you come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a problem.
And the kids gone.
Yeah, so I'm not, because I'm Disneyland by myself. So we don't go to Disneyland. Like,
what's up, women in Disneyland, bro?
My wife don't like Disneyland.
Man, you gotta wait. She's a keeper.
my wife don't fuck with Disneyland. We both are like, we gonna rule the day on my son.
If I was to tell my wife I'm going to Disneyland without you, I have a Dear John letter waiting.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, most people do care about that.
But women in Disneyland, bro.
I don't know. They like that. I don't even want to get into that. So it says, and we should dedicate the full force. Hold on. It says, and we should dedicate the full force of our nation's expertise and resources to tackle our greatest public health challenges, including cancer, opioid addiction, and mental health. I mean, on the surface, that sounds fine.
Yeah, we should do those things. But it's not about, we all agree you should do those things.
Yeah.
But it's how we do it that matters. And if you're doing it in a way that leaves even one person without health care,
it ain't right.
It's immorally wrong.
It's definitely
immoral.
Yep.
So right now, we have Obamacare. And with Obamacare enacted, we have over 35 million people without health insurance whatsoever.
And the rest of us that got shitty insurance.
The really rich have health care. The really poor, there are some systems in place that have really poor people with it. It's the people that are working class people that make too much money to get free healthcare, but don't make enough money to afford it and to pay half of their money to their rent and to pay their bills
And to pay the
feed their
premium.
kids and to pay premiums and to pay for prescriptions
Mhm.
and to pay for co-pays.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are getting disenfranchised. People that work every day, and there's no way if you work 40 hours a week, you know what I mean?
You shouldn't
you
be able
should
to
have
afford
health
healthcare
care.
or a place to live,
Right.
or
All of those
yeah.
things.
So-
Right.
So let's keep going. I just want to get through this because this is what we came here for. So criminal justice. This is Biden's platform, by the way. We need to reform the criminal justice system to prioritize prevention, eliminate racial disparities at every stage, get rid of sentencing practices that don't fit the crime, and help make sure formerly incarcerated individuals who have served their sentences are able to fully participate in our democracy and economy. We have to take action to reduce gun violence and hate crimes, strengthen the landmark Violence Against Women Act, and insist on real community policing that builds trust and makes every community safe.
The only policy that he brought up was the crimes against women,
Yeah.
which is something everybody can get behind and agree on.
Yeah.
Everything he said there, again,
Platitudes.
everybody can agree on those things.
Yeah.
It's about how, Biden. You don't have the answers, man.
You don't have the answers, that's for sure. And it's funny hearing him say, after he just said that he hasn't even acknowledged that his crime bill in 94 crime bill disproportionately affected the black community. He hasn't even acknowledged that. He hasn't apologized for it. He hasn't acknowledged it.
Well, he just went and got a black press
Secretary,
person,
yeah.
and then decides that she's gonna do.
I'm sorry, not a question. Yeah.
And that poor woman has been getting the work
Yeah,
every time she goes on TV.
You talking about Simone Sanders, yeah. But
Yes.
she deserves it though, fuck her.
She deserves it.
But yeah, so criminal justice, so the man that is responsible, his name to me is just standing out, like everything. So we need to reform the criminal justice to prioritize prevention, eliminate racial disparities. Really, Joe.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Thanos.
Yeah. Hey,
But I eliminate half of the racial disparities.
but I give him, you know what, I'm gonna say something. Since he was the motherfucker that started the shit, maybe he could be the one to dismantle it. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
I'll show you how to do this.
He's like, this is how we did it. So I don't know. So maybe I'm hoping for a lot from Joe.
And then you gotta be like, okay, this is the thing too. You gotta say, well, where does these fit in your priority? Is this a day one thing for you?
Do you think Joe Biden would actually do it? Is the question.
No, and this is why I don't think he would do it. He wouldn't do it because everything he doesn't have a plan. Everything that he has a plan for, this is how you know. When you go on his website, and if you guys have a chance to go on there. You see how this is where his issues are. You see how when you push this down,
American
and there's nothing right here.
Yeah.
This is how you know it's just platitudes, right?
Yeah.
And then
Where's the policy?
When you wait, there's no policy. But this is how you know when stuff has a policy. It'll say like, find out more or something like that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Read the full plan. Yeah.
See, these are the things he has a plan for.
Middle ground on the climate change.
No, he changed it.
They pushed it.
AOC.
Okay. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about the importance of having progressive voices in the party. We're seeing it right now in real time. 3 weeks ago, Joe Biden was like, we don't know about that Green New Deal shit. We need to be in the middle. We need to find middle ground. Well, it was all bipartisan shit.
Mm-hmm.
You just told I haven't read his new shit because I really don't give a fuck about Joe Biden. But so now he's obviously moved more towards the left. He's probably not embracing the Green New Deal.
This is why he moved more towards the left because they saw when that happened.
They saw the backlash.
They saw the backlash, and they said, and his people are telling him, "Hey, Joe, you gotta
be on this.
Like you don't have to come right in like I'm the climate change candidate.
Yeah.
But you better say
you gotta support it.
You can't do that middle ground thing.
Yeah.
She crushed him with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
She crushed him on that. There's no middle ground.
No middle ground. Yeah. Uh-huh.
She crushed him, and they're like, wait, she's gonna be problem. And that's what I like about AOC. She hasn't endorsed Bernie.
Yeah.
But she's like
she's a Bernie surrogate as well.
Right, and so.
But I think she's gonna go. Never mind.
Keep on to the people. You asked me to look up.
She might turn into the
what's that? Beto. Yeah. You asked
me to look up Beto, and I mean,
Okay,
I don't know when he decided to take
Beto on the
just,
quote. So it's just basically like quotes, like a business leader.
no, these are his stances. I mean, one of the things that I was looking at on it was, you know, it's crazy. Like you guys are talking a lot heavy on Bernie Sanders, and I'm reading everything that he's saying right now. It's like reading Bernie Sanders playbook word for word. Just
but once again, it's the light version.
yeah, it's
not
really
in
light
version. It's not in detail. He ain't really giving you too much, you know, but he giving you something.
So I guess to say to y'all in the chat, I mean, I ain't seen nobody that's running Democrats.
Now, but okay, first it was Green New Deal. How we're gonna pay for it is expensive. We need a middle ground of climate change because he was trying to protect his big boy business partners. Now it says right here on his website, Biden believes the Green New Deal is a crucial framework. Now it's a crucial framework,
and it's no greater challenge facing our country.
Right now, it's no greater challenge. No, it's no greater challenge facing your campaign than
overcoming people from killing you for not being
and Bernie Sanders progressive little homies gnawing at your ankles.
He said because
they're not afraid to speak truth to power.
Bernie put the TGs on you. He put the tiny gangsters on you. He didn't even put the OGs on you.
And what can you say about AOC, man? I mean, like,
I love AOC.
I love her. She's young. Like, people will say she's a little fiery. Sometimes she goes a little overboard.
Yeah.
But she's gassed up. I wish every congressperson, when they came into Congress, was as visible, as brave, when they first came in.
Yeah.
They're acting like Whoopi Goldberg with you should have ran for city council or something first, or, you know, trying to act like before you come in and challenge Pelosi.
Your big boy shoes.
Get your feet wet first.
Shut the fuck up.
No, that's not what we want from somebody who has a 2-year term. We want you coming in. She came in day one with her agenda, the same thing she promised her electorate, the Green New Deal, supporting Medicare for all, breaking up big corporate entities.
Also just exposing the DNC. Like that's the thing that I got. That's the thing that I appreciate about her the most is her pulling back the veil, and just showing you like, oh, this is how these people get down.
Or I came out of a meeting and I looked here and I said, why are these people in line? These are people paid by lobbyists to hold their place in line to get in this meeting so nobody else can fit in the damn meeting except for lobbyists.
And she was tweeting that kind of stuff in real time, dude. Like,
and she just took a picture, like, whoa.
So here's my thing, because I hear people knocking AOC. I even hear like people that are supposed to be progressive. They're like, for some reason they got something against her or whatever. I don't know why you guys don't like her. I'll be honest with you. I think she's dope. I think she's special. Going forward, we're going to see how, you know, she could end up taking the Obama deal. I don't know. But as of now, and the Obama deal is, we'll take care of you later, you take care of us now. Or
you never know.
Like, you never know.
The thing is, the reason people are intimidated, when they was 29, he wasn't that. He wasn't none of that.
I didn't know
she was that real pit bull in a skirt.
Yeah.
She's that real pit bull in a skirt.
And she's doing work.
Coming in, she's working. So, and she got people with her, partners with her that understand that, hey, that are just as energetic.
Yeah. And she makes them. She definitely makes them. So we're going to go next to Elizabeth Warren's stances right now, right? So Elizabeth Warren, she's been a senator in Massachusetts since 2013. She's the vice president of the Democratic caucus right now. Her platform, government corruption. She wants to get rid of government corruption. That's a broad sweeping term in itself.
And what she he's able to. Where's power? There's corruption.
Yeah,
and
for
that's
sure.
Life.
So Warren will require. Now, before I say anything, I think she has really good ideas.
This ain't one of them.
Okay. So you guys let us know. Warren will require all lobbyists to register. Warren will ban foreign nations from hiring American lobbyists. So that's important because if you look at our elections right now, people were talking about Russia. They're deflected. The two biggest, Israel and the Arabs, the Saudi Arabia, they have paid lobbyists in our country, influencing our elections. And they're not, doing it. They're not doing it through memes. They're not doing it through troll farms. They're doing it with cold hard cash, and they're buying off politicians.
That's the reason that we have this conflict going on with Iran. We're provoking Iran right now because John Bolton is actually paid for and by an opposition group. Yeah. No, not APAC.
No, I'm sorry. That's
an opposition group from Iran that is not in Iran. They're very unpopular in Iran, But they out here, they basically have a cult-like following of Iranian Americans that pay big top dollar for people like John Bolton to have them on their team.
They want to overthrow the Iranian government.
Just look up John Bolton's anti-Iranian speech. You can find it on YouTube. He's going to be giving a speech to that group. I got to find the name of that group.
So that's a part of it. She said she wants to also ban Congress from owning stock or become a lobbyist for life. I think that's genius too, but that's me. All candidates for federal office must show tax returns. This seems like a no-brainer. You know, all the shit that happened with Trump. Next thing, she wants to go to voter rights. So eliminate unnecessary and unjustified rules that make voting more difficult and overturn every single voter suppression rule that racist politicians use to steal votes from people of color. We need to outlaw partisan gerrymandering by Democrats and Republicans because, yes, Democrats do gerrymandering.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Whoever's in power,
they all follow the same rules, the same playbook. No more donations from federal lobbyists. No more donations from PACs, and no more billionaire super PACs.
That's a lie.
She takes money.
The reason it's a lie is she just transferred $10 million from a PAC to her campaign.
Yeah.
So she doesn't. I mean, if she says she wants no more, like, then it's no more after this.
After this,
no more after
she means once I get in.
Once I get mine.
Yeah. I'll let y'all. Yeah.
Well, this is the way the game plays right now.
Yeah.
But after this, you guys, you gotta quit this unfair practice. No.
It's like changing. Like
that's
like
political courage. That's where your political courage comes into play. You can start calling for it into the PACs when you stop taking PAC money.
Practice what you preach.
Like Bernie Sanders has never taken a dime
from corporate
PAC. Now he does take union.
Yeah, union money totally different.
Union, but those are workers. He fights for working class.
Yeah.
So the working class gets together and they make PACs.
Nurses union is like,
that's
we like this guy.
That's different than a corporation.
That's different than Pepsi.
Yeah, saying we're going to give you Britney Spears money to come in and dance for us when you get in office.
Yeah.
Those are two different things.
Terrible. So criminal justice, ending racial disparities in our justice system. It means banning private prisons. It means embracing community policing and demilitarizing our local police force. Is awesome. I love both of those ideas. Comprehensive sentencing reform and rewriting our laws to decriminalize marijuana. No shit. New laws and new commitment to prosecuting giant corporations. That would be dope. And their leaders when they cheat their customers, stomp out their competitors, or rob their workers. These are genius ideas. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. So with Amazon. But here's the funny thing. If she believed in that shit, let me see. Never mind. I'm already talking about that.
No, you can't believe in those things and say, I'm a capitalist. Because the thing is, what she's trying to do is she's trying to be buddy with the corporate types while protecting workers' rights. You
can't be in bed with both of them.
You actually have to take a side in this fight because it's almost like the workers need that kind of leadership and need that kind of support. And the corporate people are, if you're not with us, against us anyway. They will back up you.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll lie to you. They will lie to you and appease you if they know that, you know what I mean, you're going to still try to work with them no matter what.
But also, the reason why she's not going to be for this shit because when she had an opportunity to break up the big banks, what did she do? Nothing. When she had an opportunity to hold people accountable, what did she? Nothing.
And that's the same
she wagged her finger at her. That's all she did. She got on C-SPAN and wagged her finger.
And that was the same thing with Kamala Harris.
Same shit, yeah.
She had an opportunity to send a message that, you know what I mean, that you couldn't come into California and do the things she did.
Yeah, kick old people out their homes.
Right. And so basically, by not holding him accountable,
she said a president's.
Well, she actually just maintained the status quo.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. She just maintained the status quo. I'm sorry. You're right. Lastly, she said it means judicial nominees that follow the rule of law instead of catering to the wealthy and the well connected. All right. So those are some bullet points.
Say that again.
She was saying that it means judicial nominees that follow the rule of law instead. So she's basically saying the judges should follow the rule of law, whether it's a rich or a poor person. We don't care if you're well connected or not.
Let me just basically say something, because Martin Luther King did say, you can't legislate the minds of people.
Yep.
And one of the things that you can't be avoided in the judiciary system, but needs to be avoided is partisanship. Judges are not supposed to have a political party.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you have conservative and liberal judges. And they don't come right out and declare political parties.
No.
But I'm sure some of them belong to political parties.
Of course,
they have a right.
They're voters. Yeah,
they're
voters.
Voters. They have a right to vote and things of that nature too. But and the fact that someone can come in and say, well, this is a conservative judge, this is that rule of law thing is going to be very hard to enforce. I don't know what you would pass, because you would have to basically legislate a mental state.
No, or you could legislate, or you
could change the code of ethics.
No. You could do mandatory, like how they did for poor people during the war on drugs or whatever. Just mandatory. Boom. You do this. You break this. Whatever law, whatever the hell. First time, second time. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too. I don't know. I guess you say mandatory sentencing or mandatory sentencing guidelines around Black people, they get nervous because it's always been
it's always going to disproportionately affect. But in this level, it wouldn't disproportionately affect us.
Right.
If you don't own shit. Unfortunately, I mean,
we're not on a lot of benches. We're not on a lot of benches.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So I think enforcing a code of ethics, with judges to get them the hell out of there.
But who's gonna uphold? Yeah, to me that leaves whatever. But yeah,
that's like cops policing.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Tough.
It's tough.
I'm glad I'm not running right now. So.
Yeah, that's a tough. that really is a tough one.
That's tough.
So we're
it's
gonna
a good promise, but it's another thing that everybody can get behind. And say, I want that too.
Yeah, for sure. It all sounds good.
What does it look like?
But what was she and what will she actually do?
Right.
I don't think so. Pete Buttigieg, current mayor of South Bend, Indiana, since 2012. His platform, healthcare. He calls this Medicare for all who want it.
That's basically a way to keep private insurance companies shafting the working man.
Who doesn't want Medicare? Who doesn't want healthcare?
What they're saying is, you can pay your tax, you can pay taxes and buy into a public option.
Yeah.
And he believes that is going to make the public option is going to make public insurance companies bring private insurance become more competitive. Right. It's not. This is what makes private insurance companies more competitive. You give them less to compete over, basically by making everything Medicare for all for everyone, right? And then let them sort out elective surgeries.
Yeah.
Like
plastic surgery.
Yeah. Let them go into that business.
Yeah. They can own that racket all day long. That's fine for them. It says this plan makes a Medicare type public option available on the exchange and invites people to buy into it, like you were just saying. If insurers don't lower costs to deliver something dramatically better than what is available today, competition will create the glide path towards Medicare for all. So I mean, it's the capitalist
saying we'll give it to you later.
Yeah, no, I mean it's their idea, like because that's what capitalism. That's what they preach. Is like competition. But we see what competition it doesn't make things better.
Right, and one of the main crux of Medicare for all, or even the competition portion, or the portion where you talk about bringing prices down, it's prescription prices. And the fact of the matter is that if we're going to be negotiating, like other countries do, and negotiate with big pharma to bring certain prescription prices down. We need everyone.
Isn't that illegal right now? I thought it was illegal for.
It's illegal right now. It's illegal for the government
to negotiate
drug prices. But that's one of the things that Medicare for all is going to change. It's going to allow the government to negotiate prices, and when everyone is in the same pool, that's bargaining power. When it's a public option where some people are going to pay into it and some people are going to stay with their private insurance, that makes the pool smaller. That gives the government even less negotiating power.
Absolutely.
So basically, that's not going to be a good deal for us.
Nope.
But did you know that in countries that have single payer healthcare, they actually pay 40% less in prescription prices than we pay in the United States?
It makes sense though.
And then the funny thing is that the government, the insurance, the prescription big pharma can lobby in the government, but the government can't turn around and negotiate back with them. And that's terrible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
You can't fight them. They're basically punching you and your hands are tied behind your back. It's crazy.
Right, and they've done it
and the government did it to themselves, which is hilarious.
Right. And they've made billions and billions of dollars, and they spend about $250 million a year lobbying in the government.
But they get it back tenfold, so it don't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
So debt-free education. This is Pete Buttigieg, by the way. Pete Buttigieg, he wants debt-free education, a state-federal partnership that makes public tuition affordable for all and completely free at lower incomes. Combined with lower incomes, I don't know.
What's lower income?
That's too vague for me. Combined with a large, and why wouldn't I want middle class people to yeah, whatever. Combined with a large increase in Pell Grants that provides for basic living expenses and keeps up with inflation. Middle income families at public colleges will pay 0 to. Oh, there you go. Middle income families. Yeah, awesome. I love that.
Right.
Election security. We need a.
Wait. But the education thing, he still wants to do that where, I think that equity, see, when people are rich, when you allow rich people to pay for stuff that they can pay for already, when you allow rich people, there's privilege that's involved. Do you understand what I'm saying?
100%.
They will be able to, schools will make special things that they can purchase, and the people that purchase those things will have an advantage. Mm-hmm. That is why we have to make sure everyone, it's about equity in the school.
The same thing with insurance. It's the same shit.
And the whole thing with Buttigieg is it's the same thing as Biden saying I'm going to triple Title I. It is not going to create equity. It's just throwing money at a problem. Yeah. So it's not addressing the real issue.
He said he wants okay. So I want to point something out real quick too. So far, everybody has mentioned something, or a lot of people have mentioned something about election security or protecting our election process or something like that. When I haven't heard, like Obama wasn't talking about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Trump definitely wasn't talking about it. That is something that has been, the American people we have seen that our elections are rigged. Mm-hmm. The media is trying to make you think, the corporate, the bureaucrats and the oligarchs, they want to have you think that it is that is outsiders that are rigging the elections. We are rigging, we meaning Americans, are rigging our own elections to favor the 1%. Right. Period, point fucking blank. I think most Americans finally think that this is the case, because even Trump got on national television and said that Bernie was cheating, which I thought was hilarious.
Check this out. If you guys want election reform, this is where you start. You lock up Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Yeah.
Put her in prison and make an example out of her.
Okay.
And then other people will straighten the hell
And then you go one man, one vote.
You guys want to get authoritarian and have a war. You want to have a war on drugs, have a war on election.
That's what we really need.
Election fraud.
Go ahead.
No, it was just a couple people, Betty Booz was asking if you guys.
What's up, Betty?
Steady interesting show, by the way. So good job, fellas. Good job. She wants to know if you guys had a steady show and what night you guys are going to be doing it.
We're going to do it once a week right now. Mm-hmm. The next time we're going to do it is, I think we're going to shoot for doing a live stream during the debates, right? I don't know if we can show it, like you guys are going to have to watch the debates and then we're going to be talking about it in real time.
Yeah, I kind of want to just do it after, like watch the debates and then
process it after.
Yeah, I want to actually think about it.
Okay.
Know, and then so let's just say I want to make sure that we have a consistent day. We do it every week. The reason we were supposed to do it earlier this week, but the reason we're doing it on Saturday is because some things that changed with my scheduling.
Yeah.
So
we'll try to. I think we should shoot for the after the debates. We're gonna shoot for the weekend again, but then after that, I think we're gonna try to do it every Wednesday or Thursday or something like that.
I kind of want to do them right behind. There's people, and then during the day, I want to do them behind some other progressive shows. Like Sam Cedars on every day. Mm-hmm. It's 9 our time, 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be able to do them behind those shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just kind of just fit in that progressive lineup. But yeah, we're working on doing a show weekly at least once a week.
At least once a week.
And if you want to, what we're going to be doing as well, if you want to be able to enjoy us anytime, we're going to be taking the best parts of our show and put them in YouTube videos. That way you can they're going to be shareable. They're going to be something that you can pass along to people, or something that you can watch or just listen to while you're in your car driving.
Yep.
We're going to also be on SoundCloud, and so look out for us in a lot of different ways coming to you. So the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to cook Like I know Betty, I already know you are a loyal fan of the Soapbox Heroes Network, and I appreciate you. And just continue to support. Tell your friends, bring them along, drag somebody. Maybe just go to somebody's house before it comes on or something, and just turn it like, hey.
Yeah, come peep these guys.
Like pick it up, yeah. Whatever
we
you gotta do.
appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're gonna get to one more thing with this guy. He's talking about election security. We need a nonpartisan and fully resourced election administration to prevent unfair partisan skewing of our elections. And we need to make clear to foreign governments that if they attempt to interfere in our elections, there will be serious consequences. What are you talking about? War? Sanctions?
He's a young warmonger. He's a young corporate warmonger. He's 37. He's a military guy. Ex-military. Actually, when he was as mayor in his first term as mayor, he actually deployed to Iraq.
Yes. Yeah, that got him a lot of brownie points.
Or Afghanistan.
Yeah, Afghanistan. Yeah.
He took 6 months off and was out there.
Which seems very
weird to get deployed for 6 months.
No, it seems very Manchurian candidate-ish to me.
I hate to go there with people because we just fresh off this fake Russian shit.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing about the Manchurian candidate shit that I always found to be funny, that people were trying to push that Trump was a Manchurian candidate. I always thought it was funny because Trump is like 70 years old. He's not charismatic. He's not that bright.
And you know him.
And you know him already. The Manchurian, if you guys read the book, if you just watch the fucking movie. Anyone you watch the one that made out 95 or 85 and the one that fucking Denzel made. The Manchurian candidate, the whole point of the Manchurian candidate is supposed to be somebody you don't know. Yeah. Somebody that snuck up from behind, and they have this energy and they have this twinkle in their eye, all these things and shit.
Barack Obama had a better chance.
Barack Obama was the Manchurian candidate. Like, I'm just being 100 with you.
Like, he's from Kenya. Yeah. That's what they were thinking. Like,
exactly. But Barack Obama was the Manchurian candidate. Like, right. If y'all want to be like for real, like Barack Obama was the Manchurian candidate. And look at the shit he did. He committed some of the most heinous acts, and people loved him. That's literally the whole point of the Manchurian candidate. It's a lull people to sleep.
If you go on YouTube right now, and I know they're trying to crack down on conspiracies, so YouTube, whatever, much love for that. But if you look up Barack Obama is the Antichrist, how many videos are you gonna find of Obama is the Antichrist?
A lot.
Because he was a very charismatic guy.
Well, they say he's Antichrist because he's black. That's what I think. I don't.
Every president has a.
Yeah, for sure. So absolutely. But I also,
but not Trump. Trump is the guy. Trump is Cyrus from Isaiah 45.
That's hilarious. He's the savior.
Yeah, that's the savior.
That's really funny.
That's
because the racist. That's what race people think. I don't like Obama for different reasons than most white Americans don't like Obama. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want y'all to keep that shit in order and know that I don't dislike Obama because Obama was black. I don't dislike him because of his mom.
Any white people watching that hate Obama, you hate him because he was racist.
Yeah.
I hate him because he's a warmonger.
I hate him because of his policy. I hated him because he didn't give us Medicare for all. Right. I hated him because he didn't break up the big banks. I hated him because he didn't penalize the big banks.
He saved them.
He saved them. He bailed them out and then bailed us out. Like, that's why I don't like him.
He was Flash Gordon to the big banks.
But Princeton, I was waiting on reparations. I thought he was gonna get it. I thought I was in there like swimming.
No. He signed something at the very end on his way out that was like a little here you go reparate. But I mean,
Bush gave us.
I just thought he was gonna do that because he looked like us.
No.
Bush gave us
that's the trick that we gotta get over that shit, black people. All skin folk and kin folk, man. Just because and let's keep it 1,000. Obama was king.
Right.
He was black by skin, by melanin.
And a lot of times, in a lot of ways, he did share the black experience.
No, he didn't.
No.
Nah, he's not from Chicago.
He's not from Chicago. Go to Hawaii. He lived in Chicago, but Obama lived in like the best part in Chicago. Like he lived in a nice place in Chicago.
He was surfing USA.
Yeah, that's like saying I live in LA, but LA has like 90 different parts of it. You know what I'm saying?
I live in LA. But I live in Brentwood.
But I live in Brentwood, though. Like, I live in LA. I live downtown LA in a high rise. Like, I live next to the double. Like, nah, nigga, you don't live in LA. You don't live in LA. I live here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I saw a shooting. Through my binoculars.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking down,
in the valley,
and I saw somebody getting mugged, and I was like, "Holy shit! I might need to move like that." Like we live in like Obama didn't live.
Where's my batarang?
Yeah, that's.
It's like I'm a billionaire playboy. Where's my Iron Man suit?
Yeah, Obama didn't live. Obama grew up in Hawaii and went to Harvard and was handpicked by Henry Kissinger to be the next president.
And Citibank picked his whole cabinet.
Yeah, gave him his whole cabinet. Alan Greenspan.
They slipped him a note at the inauguration. Hey, check this out, it's your cabinet.
This is what you do. And he did it, and he got y'all to fall for a hook, line, and sinker.
Oh yeah, mother of all bombs, bunker buster.
Yeah, all right. That's all Obama. That's all Obama. Just so y'all know. So that's why I don't like Obama.
Shout out Catcher, man. Thanks for the sub. We appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. We'll be back.
Definitely. And make sure the notification bell got the 2. It's in the parentheses. So that makes sure you get everything that we got to offer. Because I know Tyrone's got some great shows lined up for you guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, shout out while I'm thinking about it. You know, our condolences go out to Tyrone. I know he said he lost his grandma yesterday.
Yeah.
So, just to let you know, man, Tyrone, if you're watching, bro, you know, our condolences out to you, man.
Sir.
So.
We know how tough it is. So
Definitely.
I want to get to this last one. So we gonna break down Kamala Harris. We're gonna just give you her platform. Kamala Harris, senator from California, former attorney general. That's important to keep in mind that she was a former attorney general
in California.
Mm-hmm. And she locked up tons of black and brown people. Like she literally like made her career on locking up tons of black and brown people. And before she got in, she said she wasn't gonna lock up tons of black and brown people. And she got in and proceeded to lock up.
Well, wasn't that like her campaign song, Black and Yellow?
Yeah,
she locked up a lot of people, you know, and she was because I get it. If you have to have an attorney general or a DA, they need to be perceived as tough on crime. If they want to keep their job, often they do.
That's a misconception because I think like.
But that's a misconception that voters have. Like, oh, she's not tough.
No. I think
the police, like this. If you're running for the prosecutor, there's people you need to have your back. You have to be endorsed by the police. If you're not endorsed by the police, you're not getting elected. They prove it all the time and time again. The police the police to get their endorsement. They're taking whoever's more tough on crime.
I think if you get a truly progressive prosecutor, which you rarely get, I'm going to give you a perfect example. I forget her name. You can look her up. I think she's a prosecutor in Philadelphia right now.
Or the new one in St. Louis.
Okay, I don't even know. Yeah. So the lady in Philadelphia though, so she got in. I remember what she did. She got in and she basically made everybody that was in there that worked under the last DA. She said, okay, look, I'm gonna need you guys to basically like reapply for your jobs. So she made them like give her like a resume and what they had done while they were there. And she said, I'll read this and I'll see how many of you guys I'm gonna keep on. Like if you get like 48 hours or some shit like that. She ended up firing every fucking like to me it was cold blooded that she was gonna do that. But oh yeah, this guy, yeah, he's dope. This is the guy. I'm sorry. Krasner. I'm sorry. It wasn't a lady. There was a black lady that did that too. I forget what city she was from, but this dude is progressive too. And you can be a progressive DA. You just have to go about it in a certain way. You have to truly be progressive. But if you're perceived to be like easy on crime, then yes, you won't get elected. But that's to me, that's the people that are in the middle. You can be progressive and be tough on crime. You see what I'm saying? Because what kind of crime are we talking about? Right? Like if Kamala would have came in and been like, I'm gonna be tough on these fucking bankers, I'm gonna hold them accountable. That's being tough on crime. You think people wouldn't have voted for them? Would have voted for her? Absolutely. They would have been like, fuck yeah, well let's get her in here, right? So that's not being tough on crime. Is I think people will vote for you if you're progressive. So one of her platforms is this. Part of her platform is reverse President Trump's $1 trillion tax cut for big corporations at the top 1%. And use that money to give a tax credit of up to $6,000 to working families each year. Rent Relief Act, she got me at rent relief. Because the shit is ridiculous in California. This shit is crazy. So Rent Relief Act to provide a tax credit for people spending 30% or more of their income on rent and utilities, which is
Everybody.
I think, in California.
Yeah.
Like, I would think so.
Actually, it's the majority of Americans.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. But so I'm sorry. She's running for president, not governor of California.
Right.
But I'm just hyped because I'm in
Right.
California and I'm gonna be selfish a little bit and be like, hey, that's fucking crazy.
She did that with Californians in mind.
Yeah, she did that with she's in California and she knows that it affects the rest of the country, but
We are the 7th largest economy
in the world. So she knows. She's smart. I give her that. Immigration reform, passed executive orders giving path to citizenship and to dreamers. Me and Robert discussed this before. He brought up a very good point. He broke down her agenda involving immigration reform. It was solid. Like what we were talking about, what she wanted to do, providing the easiest path of resistance, giving people parole and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that when they're already over here, they would actually have the opportunity to become citizens, and they won't be burdened by all these fucking roadblocks.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that she has an actual good agenda or a good plan for reform, for immigration reform. Me personally, I'm not like immigration is not a problem for me because the root cause of immigration isn't people that just want to come to America for a better life. That's not the issue. The issue is regime wars. Regime change wars. It's sanctions on Venezuela. It's you know what I'm saying.
It's the resistance that America had to the pink tide. Where now they're overthrowing. They've overthrown and destabilized a lot of South American countries.
Yes.
Due to the growing workers' parties in South American countries,
Mm-hmm.
and including Venezuela, and because of that destabilization and those sanctions that were placed on them, and the actual overthrow of those governments in favor of puppet right-wing puppet dictators.
Mm-hmm. Plants.
Right now, they're and the ensuing civil struggles and strife in those things. They've thrown those places into economic turmoil.
Yeah. That's why people want to leave.
And did you heard about the thing about Lula, right?
Yes. So him being locked up or what?
Right.
What part?
Brazil.
Yeah. What part about it?
Well, basically they just have a bunch of trumped up charges against him.
Oh yeah.
And now they've actually locked Lula up.
Yeah.
In prison.
Lula was a political figure. He was an old president, I believe.
Right. A member of the Pink Tide.
Member of Pink Tide in Brazil.
He was down with Chavez and all of them. And he's not been he was a 2-term president. Mm-hmm. They have term limits in Brazil.
Yes.
He was no longer president, so he didn't have like any real power any longer, but he was still political. He's Lula, to them. Like he means something to them because and when he speaks, they listen.
He's what Obama should be.
Right.
Like after you get out of office.
The elder statesman.
He's what Jimmy Carter ended up being. Right? Like Jimmy Carter felt so Jimmy Carter only had one term. Jimmy Carter got out of office and was like, that shit was crazy. Like for sure, if you guys ever want to go back and read or listen to Jimmy Carter, as far as on a personal level, like morally speaking, he was probably like had the highest standards of morality of any president that I know of personally. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know of every single president like that, but he had an adverse reaction to being president after he got out. He felt bad after he was president. He saw what it was. He thought he was going to be able to, you know what I mean? He really did believe in this. And he saw it. He was like, this shit is fucked up. And that's when he started Habitat for Humanity and all that type of stuff. Jimmy Carter was for a long time. He was speaking out against a lot of stuff that was happening in America. And he still does to a certain degree, but he's not as vocal as Lula.
He's old. He's super old.
He's super old. He's in his 80s now. 90s? Jimmy Carter 90? Okay. Jimmy Carter old as dirt. I know that. Yeah, there she goes. Marianne Williamson.
Speaking of moral candidates.
Yeah. Yeah, I want you to talk about her. So yeah, Jimmy Carter. But yeah, Lula is what Obama is what Lula should be. Instead, Obama is going around telling progressives, you can't have everything. When all else fails, just go the neoliberal route.
Right.
So
a little bit about Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson is the candidate that when she came in, she made a splash. First of all, she's not a politician. She's a writer.
Yeah.
And she's not only a writer, she's a spiritual leader. She is Oprah's spiritual guide.
That's the only thing that made me not want to fuck with her.
Right. And
she connected to Oprah.
But also she is the reparations candidate. Like if there was a reason, like the person that actually has a plan for what they want reparations to look like. See, a lot of people will be like, yeah, reparations, that's cool. It sounds great. And we'll discuss it. She's not talking about discussing it. She actually says that, the race problem is a moral issue.
Yeah. And we need to address it. And it's funny because black people, a lot of black people, and a specific group of black people, ADOS, they go hard on Bernie for not being pro reparations, right?
Right.
But then they'll say like our vote is up for grabs and yada yada yada. But I don't see them pushing Marianne Williamson.
I sure don't.
So I'm like, what do you want? Like you got the person that's literally has a black agenda, has an agenda specifically for black people, but you're not pushing her.
Right.
And she's on the fucking debate stage. Like it ain't like she's like she's on the debate stage.
She has 65,000 individual
donors. Yeah. So somebody is giving her money. Don't get me wrong. I know somebody's giving her money and I think
she's not taking corporate PAC.
She's not taking corporate PAC money. If you guys want to vote for somebody, vote for her. Black people, let's get behind Marianne Williamson, right?
If reparations is
your thing and that's what you want, then let's do it. So there's something on her site. She says, for that reason, I propose a $200 billion to $500 billion plan of reparations for slavery. The money to be dispersed over a period of 20 years. An esteemed council of African American leaders will determine the educational and economic projects to which the money will be given.
Scares me.
Definitely janky. Two things.
But at least she's not scared to put a plan out there.
She's putting a plan out there. My problem is if you ask for a piece of bread, you get crumbs. Mm-hmm. You got to ask for the whole fucking loaf, and the whole fucking loaf ain't $200 billion to 500. It's $20 trillion. Because that's what all the people who have made the projections or like what they think we really they're talking
for inflation.
Oh yeah, they're talking 22 trillion.
If you really want to know my personal outside opinion of what makes me nervous about that. Who is this esteemed council?
This esteemed council is the people that she talked to that came up with the $200 to $500 billion.
That's
I don't trust it.
That's my nervous part.
Because I ain't seen no face. Marianne, you see the thing about Marianne Williamson is she's very thoughtful. I know that before she just started endorsing reparations, she actually talked to black people, about it.
Yeah.
Like she's got this. She's not just coming off the top like, "Ooh, this is the way I can get in."
I don't think Oprah is endorsing reparations.
She's not. She didn't when Obama didn't. She didn't. We'll see if she does now.
Yeah,
she's remained very quiet about her politics. Yeah. I think she's embarrassed about the old Obama thing.
I'm mad at you for asking for $22 billion because Germany paid $89 billion in reparations to Jews. Sorry, Mike.
89 billion to Jews.
No. We talking 1950 something.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
So how much is that now? Right now. That's what I said. I ain't had to throw that out.
Yeah. But I think we probably all more than 22. But that's just me.
Now Marianne Williamson has written 14 books, mostly about spirituality, morality, things like that's her lane. Mm-hmm. And she was and every time she gets one of these books, of course she's going to where the women are. She writes books for women. Mm-hmm. The View is where she goes to sell her books. Mm-hmm. One place she goes in her book tour, and these ladies in The View love her.
Yes.
Until she runs for president. When she came on The View this week, they tried to kill her. All of them. Joy Behar. Because you got to understand what they're doing on The View. It's ABC.
Yes.
They're defending their candidate. ABC has endorsed, without saying it, they're Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Everybody on ABC, if you're getting ABC talk, you're talking.
I don't know.
When Joe Biden was on The View,
they loved him.
They was locked arm in arm, loving him. He was sniffing hair everywhere.
But Joe Biden, Handsy Joe, dude.
And they was cool. They was with it.
Handsy Joe, but one thing is though, The View, they are older. And I could believe even without it being like an endorsement from ABC, I think that they might be voting for Joe. He literally, that's their demographic. Like is Whoopi and Joy Behar. You know what I'm saying? Not the young fat chick.
And they love Joe Biden.
Who's the young fat chick?
Oh,
McCain. Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain. Of course, she doesn't like Joe Biden.
Right. I don't even think. I don't know. Did you pull up the Joe Biden interview? Because I don't even think Meghan McCain was there.
She was there. Oh my God, yeah.
If she wasn't there that day, then you automatically know
that they were protecting Joe. Yeah, I would love to have seen her. That would be the only time I would have liked to have seen her on there.
And Whoopi is the one that controls the time on that.
Yeah.
So if it was something that got a little bit tossed up.
Yes. Okay, we're not
going to go there right now. We'll be right back.
Let's see. So
what's her name was on there? Sunny was on there.
Oh, yeah,
Sunny. Yeah, Sunny, cute.
And I love Sunny, and but she even went hard on Marianne Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
They had another little Mexican woman on there that I did not know.
Navarro?
Yeah.
Navarro.
Okay. And she accused Marianne Williamson of trying to sell books.
Yeah.
Doing it for publicity. And Marianne Williamson was like, I would rather be on a book tour if I don't have to run for president.
I've been selling books.
Mind you, she's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Hundred millionaire.
Yeah.
And she doesn't need to run for president to sell books.
And most rich people that run for president, they want to keep their money.
Right.
It costs Howard Schultz.
Money, right?
Yeah, Howard Schultz.
Howard Schultz, it is costing him so much money. His back started hurting.
Yeah, he bowed out. Yeah. That's the Navarro chick. Yeah. Oh, she was there. Meghan McCain was there in that terrible suit. Yeah. Whoopi wasn't even there. Yeah. They usually rich people. What's the other guy from the guy that got booed in the California convention?
Oh, which one? Delaney or Hickenlooper? They both got booed.
Delaney is a multimillionaire.
Yeah. Oh, he's a business.
Yeah, Delaney is worth $100 million.
He's generational wealth.
Yeah, generational wealth. He never did nothing to earn it.
No, he actually brought his father's company to another level. He's not a bad businessman.
He's not Trump.
No. He's not he actually started working in his father's business. He grew it while his father was alive, and he took over and he actually made it.
Okay,
he's not a bad businessman. He's actually a good businessman. He's a terrible candidate for president.
Terrible person.
He's definitely. Yeah. And when you're talking about, Medicare for all, and you got to know your crowd. Whenever it's a speech, I just took a class on, public speaking, so you got to know your audience.
Know your audience, yeah.
He didn't know who he was fucking with when he came to California and said anything against.
That's how disconnected he is, though. Because how could he not know that?
He's been rich.
How could you not know that?
I don't have a problem paying for my health care. Why would you guys?
Nah, he knew. No. He knew. You could tell because when he said stuff, he paused. When he said the shit that he knew was about to get booed, he paused for reaction.
He said, We do need universal health care.
Yeah.
You do need. He had the finger up like.
First he said we don't.
Quiet down. Like I'm gonna say what I said.
But we don't need it like there. Boo! Like shut the fuck up. You know what you're talking about. Stop lying.
But we don't need it in a way that's gonna take insurance away from the people that have jobs that pay for their insurance and they like their insurance. Here's news. People do not like their health insurance. They tolerate their health insurance because it's less expensive than paying out of pocket for a lot of things whenever something happens.
They said people like their doctor. If you like your doctor with this shitty health insurance now, imagine how much you're going to like your doctor when they're not in it for the money, when they're not in it, when they don't have to hit a quota, when they're not in it trying to cut corners to save money for the insurance company so they can get a kickback from the insurance. Imagine
when they don't have to come to you and say, well, your insurance doesn't cover this. But
yeah, imagine how much you're gonna like your doctor even more when they're not gonna deny you access to go see a specialist.
How much you're gonna like your doctor when they, you don't have to fill out 100 forms.
Fuck, man, that's amazing.
You know what I mean?
And you don't gotta pay them $100 just to see him.
Right.
You just walk in there and just be like, hey, I need to see you about, X, Y, and Z.
Right. I know most people love their doctors. I know most doctors are really nice people. And they got, because that's something you got to do if you want money. If you want to be a successful doctor.
Bedside manner.
Bedside manner is important. A lot of doctors know that that's more important than actual care because you can go get the care. 100 doctors say the same thing. Right. You want to go to somebody you like.
Big problem in America's system. System is not as much sickness, the care system. Yeah. That's her talking about Marianne Williamson. She's going to be on with Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. I think I actually think that Marianne Williamson is gonna. To be honest with you, I said Bernie is Teflon. Bernie, his weak spot is reparations.
Mm-hmm.
His weak spot is reparations.
And don't think they ain't gonna ask you something.
And they're gonna ask him because they're gonna ask her, and she's gonna push the conversation, and they're gonna press him. I think Andrew Yang has a better response for reparations.
I think,
and I don't trust Andrew. No. I'm talking about reparations. Fuck you. He has an actual response for reparations. I don't trust Andrew Yang at all. I think he's a fucking nut job.
I think that he's a libertarian in disguise.
For sure, without a doubt.
Because he's using the universal basic income as an excuse to cut social programs. And you know what I mean?
We're gonna give every household $1,000 more, and you're like, okay.
But I'm gonna take away.
But you're not gonna. But you're gonna lose Social Security. You're like,
if I'm already running my household and I'm paying $500 or $600 a month for childcare, you give me $1,000, I pay half of that for my childcare, and now I have maybe, you know what I mean?
A few $100 left over. That ain't gonna do it.
It's not UBI really.
No.
And really, what it's gonna do is. What it's gonna do is though UBI is one of those things that like I say with reparations, like I say with anything where you're just giving people money in a vacuum, it does not help. It has to be in conjunction with programs that
no. In a vacuum, it does help. Outside of the vacuum, it wouldn't help because the rest of the system would be so fucked up. Right. So it would affect you negatively.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But there's still income inequality. $1,000 to everybody is not going to help.
It depends on what the $1,000.
I was just about to. I'm saying if you give me in California, if you give everybody $1,000, the fuck is $1,000 going to do for every family in California? But if you give everybody $1,000 in Alabama, that could change their freaking life. You know what I'm saying? Like $1,000 to me in California ain't gonna make my lifestyle is not gonna greatly, like personally, I don't know about everybody, you know what I mean? But like me, if I made another $10,000 a year, my lifestyle ain't gonna be like, I'm gonna be living pretty much the same because I can't. What is that gonna do? That's not enough for me to go buy a home yet.
No,
and also, see what I'm saying?
But in Alabama, you're right.
But in Alabama, though, if you give me another $1,000, I'm like, shit, man, that's great. That's why I can go live in.
No question asked, but what is the extra $1,000 going to do when politicians know everyone makes an extra $1,000?
Absolutely.
What's it going to do when every store, every big business knows everybody makes an extra $1,000?
If you don't put regulations in place to combat that, or the rent, I'm saying, right? So the landlord, everybody makes an extra $1,000. So I was like, you got the money. We just raise the rent $700, but we raise the rent $400, you know what I mean, or whatever. So fuck that.
It's worse than a pipe dream. It's a carrot with a stick.
No, I think that UBI can work, but it can't be. See, his version of UBI is the libertarian version of UBI.
Mm-hmm. And that's why
it's like he's using UBI to try to limit government spending to slash the social safety net. Like, oh, you're on welfare right now? Well, guess what? I'm going to take the money, I'm going to cut welfare, and the money that we save off administration fees and welfare, we're going to help by giving you $1,000. But that's not going to help me. If you replace, if I'm already don't have a job, I already can't get a job, and I'm on welfare and I have kids, and you take away what I'm already getting, and then you just give me $1,000, it's not going to put me anywhere better.
More than $1,000.
It's not going to get right. In a lot of ways, the programs are a lot better, especially when you're talking about someone that helps with childcare.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's almost like a Trojan horse.
Right. So you need things like universal childcare and things like that behind UBI to make it even work for people. Because you're not look, a rich millionaire is going to get $1,000 and is going to throw it in the pile. A wealthy, upper middle class guy is going to take the extra $1,000 and throw it in the pile.
Yeah.
When you're talking about UBI, we want to make it sure it's something that helps the poorest people.
Yes.
And so, that it might supplement middle class, certain working class people. But we want to make sure it helps people that are in poverty get out of poverty.
$1,000
set them on a path, set them on a path to work out of poverty.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get them to the point where they can now get ahead to get out of poverty.
Yeah.
Because you could be in poverty and have a great business idea and not be able to launch it. You can be in poverty, and because you're so worried about there's a hierarchy of needs. because you're so worried about your food and your safety and your
Yeah.
sleep and things of that nature, those basic needs, you can't self-actualize. You don't have time.
That's
And so we need something that's going to, free people's time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's a good
And
point.
prepare people and give people an opportunity to prepare for the future, because in the future, the way that jobs look now, our kids aren't gonna be able to take the same jobs that we take today.
Tyrone said it's the old bait and switch.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's that. Yeah. They
It's a good idea. It's working certain places. It just needs to be. I think it's just more nuanced in the way he's explaining a lot.
And also, to your point though, one of Andrew Yang's biggest supporters, group of supporters, are right wing racist right wing groups.
Yeah.
And he had to denounce him because they asked him about it one time, and he was like, "Well, I don't know why they support me." They asked him like, "Well, why are
He can't help. He can't help.
No, I know he can't help that, but to your point, a reason why is because he's talking that lingo, that libertarian right-wing bullshit ass lingo of like, yeah, let's kick the welfare queens off of welfare, let's give them $1,000 and get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, see, and make them pull themselves up out of the bootstraps.
And then and let's see who does what. But see, the whole thing is, you know what? And this is to anybody here that's a libertarian that might be watching. You know what?
Or smaller government.
You always talk about socialism and say you've never seen a successful socialist government, which is a goddamn lie. Okay, it's a goddamn lie. You've never seen it because you don't do your research. But how about this? Do your research on this. When have you ever seen a successful libertarian government?
Well, it doesn't.
It doesn't exist.
I don't even think they.
It's a utopia. It's a fake utopian theory that does not work.
I don't think I've seen anybody.
Because when you're talking about protecting people's rights without government power, without a force, when my rights infringe on your rights, who wins? Then you get up into a situation where only the strongest, the biggest, is back to like hordes of barbarians roaming the countryside, taking people's resources, raping and pillaging.
No, it's
What is it
one-
based on now?
no,
That's libertarianism.
It's one step above feudalism.
Right.
It's like libertarianism is right in between feudalism and capitalism.
Yeah.
Like on the train. So it's feudalism, then libertarianism, then capitalism, then the total evolution.
And all you free
socialism.
market people, there's no such thing as you've never seen a free market.
Who said that
works.
socialism doesn't work?
People, that's the right wing excuse.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to just throw out a little thing called the USSR that was around until someone destabilized.
That wasn't even actually socialism.
That was the actual title. It was
But
the Unified Socialist States of Russia.
Look, and I'm glad you brought it up because Chomsky was talking about this.
Communism. I know.
No. Let me tell you what Chomsky told. Chomsky basically he broke it down. He's like, look, the title of socialism, the USSR or Lenin and Stalin, they wanted to use the term socialism to take advantage of a positive.
Yeah, like everybody would be like socialism, cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
The United States took the same term socialism. They were glad those people called themselves
So they can go.
so they could demonize socialism in a capitalist society. So basically, they both love the term together, and that's why both their propaganda machines push the term.
Yeah.
One for evil, perception, one for good perception.
Yeah.
So that's why the term stuck, even though in the USSR it was not socialist. Because socialist is about the workers controlling portions of the means of production.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And the government enforcing those positive rights that go along and coincide with negative rights that are given by your constitution.
Absolutely. But communism is socialism is a part of communism. Like socialism is like before you get to communism.
Mm-hmm.
Communism is just basic like the ultimate goal of communism is no money, no borders. Everybody's just working for the benefit of
the community.
Like a communal anarchy type of thing.
That's what it is. So I mean, to be honest, communism on paper is the greatest fucking awesome.
Right.
But the way that in this world, the way that you would have to go about obtaining communism is through force.
Right, because human nature prevents.
Not human nature, by some people at the top who still control human nature, right? To some degree, and influence it to some degree, and have a lot of power, a lot of sway over people, large swaths of people. They make it to where when you hear communism or communism is bad, so they already know we're never going to get them. So they either got to get down or lay down. You know what I'm saying? And that's how communism works, because if we are practicing communism, us three in this household, but our neighbors all around us still have money, still want to have borders and shit like that, then communism won't work.
We have to get down with them.
We got to get down with them. It's either they got to go or we got to go.
Right.
And that's what happens.
And that goes by numbers.
That goes by numbers. Yeah.
That's why you see most communist governments coming into power. Communist governments came into power through military force because they weren't willing to wait for what Marx would basically say was the natural development of communism, which is the breakdown of the capitalist society on its own.
To socialism.
But when these guys got impatient, it's like, this ain't gonna happen in my lifetime unless we pick up arms and make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's why they would do that. But then those people, when presented with that power, wouldn't use it in a responsible way or a true Marxist way, but they would become totalitarian.
Yeah.
Because human nature, when you
absolute
give someone
power
absolute
corrupts
power,
absolutely. For certain people. And
it reveals character.
Yeah.
And people with severe character flaws would be the same people that were impatient enough to say,
absolutely. I was gonna say
we're gonna kill everybody instead of waiting for the natural progression.
If you are willing to kill people because they don't want to get down with your program, I mean, it takes
once you get in power, you're gonna be thinking people are gonna want to kill you
all the time.
And
so let's kill those people. So you got on glasses like fucking Chairman Mao.
And then you do things, and I hope Maccabean, I hope you're watching. Then you do things like put immigrants in camps and not give them water to teach them a lesson,
or soap
like that,
or toothbrushes,
right? And that's cool.
Food, make them eat frozen food.
And then you say, kick them all out of the country, or send them to extermination camps and things that you brought up in our last debate.
I feel like they're shooting at a certain person.
He said his name. He knows now names. Yeah.
He knows who he is. I'm debating.
No, I think I'm calling out somebody in power right now that
Trump.
Shade. I'm shading somebody. I feel like it was somebody.
Or the American government, because Obama built the camp, so you gotta call out.
Unfortunately, we have real people that would if they could exterminate people that
Christians. These are Christians, by the way, the people that we're talking about. People who self-identify.
People of the book.
The people of the book. They self-identify as Christians, and they're telling me that it's okay to put little kids in the internment. Fuck little kids. Men, women, I don't care who it is to put kids in the internment camp.
Payback. The Catholics fed them to the lions. Let them breathe, man. Let them breathe.
That's it. Maybe that's what they believe in, man. That's
their motivations.
But I don't know if you were going to match Jesus Christ up to an economic system, it wouldn't be capitalism.
No, it'd be socialism.
Yeah.
It'd be
I think he went into a church in the Bible. If I read the book right, he kind of whipped the whole capitalism ass. You know what I'm saying?
No, he did. He was knocking down all the money, and he was like, "This ain't right," and
Right.
Yeah,
and Jesus said, "What's up for the little children? Come unto me." He didn't say.
And he said,
those little bastards up.
He didn't. And he said, render on the Caesar what is Caesar's. Meaning pay your fucking taxes.
Pay your taxes.
so yeah, but whatever though. It's weird that the people that don't even believe in the Bible would tell you more about the Bible than the Bible. But it's weird. So any final thoughts? What are you going to be looking for in the debates?
Carnage. No, I think that even though the Democrats have decided amongst the party that they're not going to go after each other personally, I know that the way it's going to be moderated, it's going to give certain people opportunities. I think that if you're polling anywhere between 1 and 3,
what do you have to lose, man? Go balls to the walls, man.
If you're polling between 1 and 5%, if I'm polling between 1 and 5%. I'm looking at whoever's with me. If it's Bernie Sanders, I'm shooting at him. If it's Joe Biden there, I'm shooting at him. I'm taking a target and I'm trying to take a chunk out of one of the big guys. I'm shooting at Elizabeth Warren if I'm in the first debate.
Well, and who made those? I don't think that the progressives in the group were saying we're not going to attack each other personally.
That they did. Well, actually, I've heard Tulsi say it. I've heard.
No, say it. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't think that they were the ones to mandate that.
Right.
Right? Like I don't think they say, because why would they care?
I think it's DNC rules right now, like an unwritten DNC based.
They don't want Joe Biden don't want nobody to attack him personally.
And
that's for sure. I know that.
But what I would do also is and this is
Jones was sniffing
unfortunate.
hair.
And this is unfortunate.
'Cause on his head.
You got to take a shot at Donald Trump directly.
Everybody has to.
You have to, because that's what the people want. Even though I think that if you're somebody like Tulsi is very, very good at killing Trump without saying his name.
Yes.
He kills him without saying his name.
She the queen of the sneak diss.
Right, because she doesn't want to get nicknamed.
Yeah.
Bernie already has a nickname. He goes directly at Trump. It's like, whatever.
Bernie be tweeting at Trump on a daily. That should be hilarious. Slapping his ass all around Twitter.
And keep with the Roosevelt, keep with the FDR. I don't think a lot of people in our generation know FDR.
Yeah.
Keep with that was brilliant.
Yeah, FDR was probably FDR did some terrible things too.
Right.
So
it was in that time. A lot of people were doing terrible things.
FDR did the internment camps, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So FDR did some terrible fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not defending it, but if we're grading on the curve and saying that all presidents do terrible, because that's what people tell me all the time. All politicians are this. All presidents. Okay, cool. So all presidents do terrible things, right? Cool. Great. But FDR did. His highs were the highest.
Right.
For sure. With his lows were some of the fucking lowest, but his highs were so fucking high that you have to give him the nod. He was probably the greatest president ever. Right. Like even greater, because people like to say Abraham Lincoln, which I think is hilarious. But
he walked into a war and walked out of one.
Pretty much. Abraham Lincoln.
He didn't walk out of the war.
No, he did. He did. No, he made it to the end of the war. No, Ulysses S. Grant actually was the one that ended. I'm sorry. Ulysses, I'm sorry, yeah.
I'm just saying, I mean, if you want to call Carried by Six getting walked out.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't walk out. He did.
But FDR.
But the war was actually,
it was pretty much
over. And that's why that was a reason why they were,
some of the most successful government programs that are still around to this day, Social Security come from the New Deal, come from Social Security. And Bernie Sanders is trying to retrofit these same programs for the 21st century. And that is why you need to be behind them. The same programs that have endured for 70 plus years.
Yeah. All the shit that we like about our government.
Right.
Pretty much like the things that you like when you talk. Because
the reason it's better to be an old person in America than just about any other place is because of FDR.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
He made that Social Security thing work. It ain't gonna work
outside of healthcare, it probably is one of the best places to be old.
Fuck no. Absolutely not. Terrible to be old in America.
You think so?
Fuck yeah, no.
Well, a lot of
societally, yeah.
No, they can't afford. Oh, you said outside of healthcare, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What about? I guess they got. I was gonna say. I guess they got a place. But they
subsidized rent.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Senior discounts.
Societally, societally, they're marginalized.
We treat our old people terrible. You're right.
Societally, we do, but I mean, the government, because of FDR, has made sure to look out for the old people. To this point, with Social Security and rent subsidies for 55 and older,
and Medicare. Like if you're old enough, Medicare.
Yeah, but you gotta be old as fuck to get Medicare.
62?
67,
67.
67? Yeah, 67.
They keep raising it because they're borrowing from the fund right now.
That's right.
Yeah, so by the time whatever.
Yeah.
No, let's not talk about
I'm only 37, let me see, so I think like 75 will be the time.
Yeah, right. Oh no, you're gonna get a letter in about like 60 that says you just want to keep
your life expectancy 73, yeah, we get 75.
I'm a black man, so my life expectancy is like more like 68.
We're all old black men. Hey, we're all old black men.
They died.
Hey, you see, I see a lot of old black men. They'll be like, "Oh, you got real good gray hair." They're like, "That ain't number 50. That ain't old enough, black man."
That ain't old. No, you ain't old. You ain't old at 50.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
They call you OG in your 50s. They should be calling you OG in your 80s.
Yeah, I don't call the 50-year-olds ain't old to me. I'm thinking like 70 plus.
Because when I'm 50, you better not tell me. You can't tell me nothing. You only 10, 15 years younger than me.
Nah, I slap the fuck out of a 40-year-old calling me old when I'm 50. Nigga. We gonna have to fight. The speed might have been gone, but the strength gonna be there.
Well, you know that old man strength.
The old man strength don't leave. My grip gonna be good by then too. I already know. I got my fucked up thumbs right now. gonna grab onto your ass.
But ultimately, man, I just want to see a debate where it's more about the issues, but I also am looking for the front runners. I'm looking for the front
separate
runners
themselves.
to separate them. So I'm looking for Bernie to show that he's not only that he has policies,
mm-hmm.
but that he can inspire people to come out to vote.
But he does, though. I mean,
but he does.
To
let everybody remember why he won 48 states in 2016. And if you voted for Bernie in 2016 in the primary, why the hell are you considering anybody else? Like, what changed?
Oh no, he got better. His message got tighter.
Leave that in the comments. If you voted for Bernie and you're thinking about voting for someone else, what changed? He is more on point with the same.
Yeah, for sure. This shit is sharper. He got a way better staff behind him now.
And even with the crazy questions, because they ask him the craziest questions.
Yeah,
you can't knock him off the civic. I've never seen him off the
civic. No, you can't, because he's honest. I'm gonna say that the thing I'm looking for the most is to see how far left the conversation will be pushed. So I'm looking for like Tulsi, Williamson, Jay Inslee on with the Green New Deal shit. I'm looking for them to see how far left they're going to push the conversation, because I think that it is imperative for the American people to see these things on the mainstream level, because we don't get to see it. Like, if you turn on the news right now, they're talking about Trump. You know what I mean? Like, they're not talking about a Green New Deal. Right. They're not talking about Fight for 15. They're not talking about healthcare for all. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're talking about Trump. They're talking about what did Trump do? Impeaching Trump.
Right.
Trump, anti-president. Like, but we're affected by so many more things, so much more than Trump. And the conversation needs to be moved to the left,
and
as far as possible.
I'm glad that the candidates kind of stay away from that.
What?
Impeaching Trump.
Oh yeah, all
candidates are like, I'm looking to beat him at the ballot box. That's been a consistent message for them, and that's what.
If any candidate gets up there talking about we should impeach Trump, that's a losing strategy.
Definitely.
That's
very unpopular.
It's really unpopular. It's a second. If you,
it's the only thing I criticize AOC on is her adamant, but she's a congresswoman.
She's a congresswoman, though. I'm saying she ain't running for president. It's her job. Like, she's the letter of the law. She's like, yeah, we can impeach this motherfucker.
And we should be able to find out after Thursday, sometime after, maybe in the weeks ahead, who's going to just go ahead and go back and run for their Senate seat, as opposed to, because we're still going to need senators.
Well, Gillibrand is she's supposed to go back and
drop out.
No, because they were like saying, like, why is she running for president? She needs to be focused on running for senator.
That's why AOC looking at her seat.
Yeah, AOC is going to run for the Senate. By the way, you guys, that's going to be awesome if she wins. If she gets
there's two Democratic senators, so she's going to have to primary somebody, and she's got her choice because both of those senators are up.
Are trash, De Blasio and fucking Gillibrand, dude.
Right.
Oh my God, it's going to be lovely. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm looking for.
No, it's not De Blasio.
I'm sorry, not De Blasio.
It's Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer. I always say De Blasio, but he's the mayor. I'm sorry, he's the mayor.
He's the mayor, yeah. And look for him to, De Blasio, just go back to work.
Yeah.
New York's got its own problems, bro.
New York is fucked up.
Go back to work, bro. Gillibrand, go defend your seat, man. I can imagine she looks like she's about to blow up the Red Keep at any moment. And Gillibrand. You know what I mean? Klobuchar, go back. You're a senator. You back where you belong. Go back to work.
Is it Klobuchar? That's she's New York, or is it Gillibrand is New York?
It is. No, Klobuchar is a senator, but she's a different state.
Different state. Okay, yeah. Gillibrand is New.
Booker, man. New Jersey. You've done a lot of great things for New Jersey. Yeah. Keep doing that. Go back to work. You know what I mean?
A little bit. I don't like Cory Booker. I don't like Cory Booker at all. I like his girlfriend. I think his girlfriend is awesome, Rosario Dawson.
Right.
She's awesome.
I hope they get married. I
hope they get married. You could do better.
She's awesome though.
Yeah, she's freaking dope.
And then
and she was a Bernie girl last time.
Yeah.
She was a Bernie girl last time. I don't know. Obviously, she's gonna be Cory this time by default.
You know what? That's crazy because You don't gotta be like that though, Rosario, if you're watching the show. But you don't gotta be like that because just make a phone call to Maria Shriver. She'll let you know you ain't gotta do that. You can still have peace in your home, and you ain't got to agree with what the hell your man's
Your
talking
man,
about.
the Terminator.
Just give a call to Maria Shriver, and she'll let you know.
Yeah, man. So all in all, I think we got a lot to look for. Hopefully, we shared enough information and kind of gave you guys a little insight on what to be looking for in these next elections in this debate. It is literally, I mean, for us, we talked about this. You said it makes sense, like the Super Bowl politics is coming up. I actually, as much as I used to watch sports, I don't watch sports that much anymore. I'm way more into politics than I am into sports. So this is going to be thoroughly interesting, and I hope everybody tunes in. And also, everybody needs to go watch the reparations discussion on Chapel Hill, on Capitol Hill.
I'm trying to get through the whole thing. It's kind of painful for me, but
no, it's rough. It's the equivalent of watching When They See Us for me.
Oh yeah,
like
man,
it was like
tough.
It was tough, man. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm like cringing.
It's about 4 hours long. So
the worst part about that whole situation is Trump still ain't trying to apologize. Like, bro, you already know these kids.
Oh yeah.
I just don't even want to talk about. Give me on.
I watched the Oprah interview with them last night, and hey, I don't like Oprah like at all.
Central Park 5.
Yeah, the Central Park 5. I don't like Oprah. I don't like her. I just don't like her. Like as a person, I don't trust her. Those guys are fucked up, man, mentally. Like, I mean, not all of them, but 3 of them are ruined, wrecked for life. 2 of them are showing a lot of resiliency. But that story is I don't even want to talk about that shit. I haven't watched the whole shit, but I knew the story.
All I did was watch the beginning of the first episode when I saw how the parents were acting and I saw how the cops were acting. I said, I can't do it. When I
turned it off when the dad told old boy to lie.
Yeah.
That was when I literally I was like, I can't watch this no more. Like I was so mad at that scene. In the interview, the guy, the real person, you know, he was saying that he said he don't respect his dad. He was like his dad ain't shit for telling him to lie, you know. And I was just like, yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, side note, maybe we'll do a video on When They See Us one day if we ever get around to watching this. I don't know if I'm ever watching.
But I'm letting you know right now, as a moderator, I'm not watching this, and don't ask for commentary, don't ask for point of
view. You don't watch it?
I can't. I watched it. I'm not gonna ever watch that past episode 2.
Oh, you watched some of it?
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, I watched the first. I watched the first episode. I was like, yeah, this shit is crazy.
But when you see us, click the subscribe.
Yeah.
Click that notification bell, like the video, and look out for more for us. Because when you see us next time, we're going to be talking about the debates, the result, and we'll probably have some, I don't know, we're trying to up our technology game here, so we'll probably have some clips for you.
Yeah.
We'll do some, I'm going to be working on the week with the fellas, see what we can do.
Amen.
We got a couple of requests to do some call-ins. I'll try to indoctrinate that over the, a couple
Also, before I forget, next weekend, D was on the production chair right now, and I actually are having a podcast, the Best Case Scenario podcast coming out.
Nice.
So we're going to be dealing with a different lane than just political analysis. We're going to be doing controversial topics in debate.
Social ones?
All right.
Like social ones?
Social and just whatever the social, whatever trend.
Hell no.
Gotcha.
Whatever trend. We want to talk. Yeah. So just we're going to keep it real funny. He kind of sounds like Shannon Sharp. I can do a Skip Bayless impersonation. I'm gonna be playing a lot of devil's advocate on the show, so you know.
That's just gonna be entertaining.
Hopefully
you already
we can
know.
make some sense.
Let y'all know right now. Be hot about anything, just like it was about Amazon. So don't chat me about that.
If we got some Molly Kareem Roses that are out there that want to be on the show, it will work better with some moderation.
Yeah.
And I think we need a woman's voice on that show. It's just something like, because I want to do some controversial stuff. I don't want to sit back. I don't want to have her talk about abortion with this dude, and we're like,
neither one of us have a uterus.
Right. That is at least one.
Well, I think just you saying that you on the right side of it right there by you understanding like I ain't got shit to do with me. Like I'm a man. Like that's like the first steps to understanding.
Are you like, look, man, we had an argument about it with somebody in a bar. A dude was sitting there like, look, man, babies got a right to live. And I was like, yeah, right, dog. But motherfucker, we have dicks. We don't have no commentary on it.
Let them do whatever. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me.
That's like me telling the suitcase, I'm gonna stuff shit in you in the suitcase like I don't want it. Like, I mean, I can't just make a suitcase do that because the suitcase can fit clothes in it. If you don't want clothes in it, damn, bro.
It's gonna shut up on you. Yeah, I'm good. I ain't got nothing to do with
it.
You wanna abort a baby? That's that's on you. You ain't my wife personally.
Yeah.
On a personal level, right? You got something to do with it, right? If it's your woman,
You get a say.
yeah, you get a say. I would hope for it.
But
Not that you get a say, but I'm saying like
you get to say something.
Yeah.
You might ask. Hopefully, she asks.
Yeah,
You know, the only person that should have anything to say in an abortionary process other than the woman is the man who helped that woman create the child. And even that's a muted voice because if you don't want to be there to raise the kid, you can leave.
Yeah.
And that's real talk. That's something that
So even if you're telling her like, I want you to have it, I'm gonna be there. It's like
you decide 2 years in,
I don't want.
he ain't gonna make it to the NBA.
I don't want him. So when I have him, I'm just gonna hand him off to your ass and see what you do. Most guys.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Outrageous. But
you want me to have it, or you want?
Now you know what? I'm a firm believer in if a woman, if you're married or you have a significant other and you're pregnant and you want to have an abortion, you're already dead set on it. Don't even tell them you're pregnant. Go ahead.
That's what I am. Why you open up that can of worms?
Because the women will go around telling people they're pregnant, and then come back 2 weeks later, why I had an abortion.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck would you tell me that, bitch?
Yeah.
Like, bitch, you could just handle that medical shit on a little.
But don't nobody like that 12-month knock at the door like you need to go 9 o'clock to see Judge McPherson because this little knee glitch you guys gonna cost you money for 18 years.
Nobody wants that.
That's one of those, like I said, controversial topic. Something we'll be covering on. What was the show's name again? You know, I'm over here talking about me knowledge, so I'm thinking me knowledge right now. But we'll be
and look for it. We're gonna give you guys a tremendous opportunity in the coming weeks to support us on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, we got like a background right here. You want to see nice things. You want to see a professional show.
We'll push it up on the screen, like next to us.
You want to see the level of research go up.
Yes, the research level. Yes.
Definitely.
The more people we have to help us, support the program, the better it'll be for everybody.
And we're just a couple of progressive. If you guys and then I hope in the future we're going to be like actually taking like phone calls.
I'm serious. They're asking for it. Like you gotta understand, they're asking for it. So I'm gonna get a situation set up.
They
gonna have some calls.
People want to call in.
Right.
The whatever is great. The
chat
room is good too.
We gonna have
that be lit, but we want y'all to call in. We want to hear y'all.
I want to hear your voice.
I want to hear your voice.
I want to hear the animus section, my friend.
Yeah, I want to hear. We want to hear.
It's gonna be a little bit,
and it's I know a lot of people gonna be confused by some of the shit we gonna say. All right.
So everybody that watched, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys more. And we want to be again the home of the marketplace of ideas. That was as Dave Rubin says, the marketplace of ideas.
That's fucking weird ass shit.
We want to be your home for political analysis.
Absolutely.
And a progressive voice for Black people and for all people, but we have
specifically Black people.
Before Maccabean is still up there, don't want Black people.
Yeah.
It's in parentheses.
Even light skinned cats like you, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Even
the light skinned.
I got some light skinned kids.
You can stay. You might have a little bit other in you, but you can stay.
You are.
Good night, you guys.
Well, man.
I gotta always throw shots.